I decided to do a live stream. It's been a long time since I came on TikTok and done live. Plus, I got a buddy I want to talk to. Where my stuff at? Let me see. Now, is this thing set up to have guest? Invite. Boom. There we go. What's going on, everyone? How's your evening? Y'all just scrolling? It's Cosmic Space Time. We're going to be talking about things. What kind of things? All kinds of things. Have y'all seen the PS9 commercial? Like, seriously, if you haven't seen the PS9 commercial, you should, like, exit out and go look at it and then come back. Because that PS9 commercial they released, like, years ago, someone had that on TikTok. It is some shit. Inside the commercial, they talk about, like, PS9 in 2078. We're just going to have nanobots go into your adrenal glands and integrate with your neural network. Like, it's some crazy stuff. Inside the commercial they released all the way back then. What nanobots? They talked about increased retinal powers. Yeah, I'm live. It happens. What's going on? I do go live from time to time. I'm actually waiting for another one of my friends from TikTok to get online. Me and him are going to go live. We've been talking about energy stuff. And that's always much more fun when the other people are on. This whole multi-guest thing, it's I don't know, I'll try it out. It would be cool. Have a hangout with bros online. That's what's up. But yeah, the PS9 thing, so crazy. Like, it talks about having your own internal personalized audio, music stuff, and I'm like sitting here thinking about my yoga that I built, and I'm like, oh, I sing a song inside myself constantly. I have my own internal audio personalized stuff. All the things that they've been releasing in the past, it's all coming around full circle. And like, yeah, it's going to be quite ridiculous, actually. Whenever you look at it, and I talk about go inside yourself and go back outside yourself, that PS9 commercial, like, it shows literally it happening in the images. The person's inside themselves in the computer screen thing, like doing movements, and then he's back outside himself. And it's like how you learn how to internalize, and then you come back out. How you cultivate and increase your chi and energy and rewire your body with all that. It's basically the 5D principles that's always been there. Guys, it's always been a fucking game. Like, period. It has always been a game that we live in. The only thing is, we didn't learn the control mechanisms for it. It's our breath. The simplest things. It's our breath. It's the one thing we can control and that everybody can control. Animals might have different like breathing patterns they use for hunting or for prolonged runs. We have the same thing. If you work out and you do different types of workouts, you'll notice you breathe in different ways and different patterns. But then, even while we're sitting here normal, where there's breath patterns that we should be doing that actually cause us to take in energy and cultivate constantly. Oh, what's up, Andy? I've been doing good, bro. You know, I'm glad to see you here. If you want to get on, bro. It's all cool. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's all set up for that. If I remember this stuff properly. Oh, whatever. But yeah, the yoga that we're supposed to be doing, sitting here, breathing, meditating, doing that whole thing, building our own internal processes. By us doing that, we form the mental sphere, which then translates from the mental aspects of it into the physical manifestation within the body. So you start to actually rewire and leave subtle channels inside your body more. The reason why we don't do the stuff we're supposed to do or stuff that we wanted to do, we were never taught to control our breath. Our whole time we've just been going around breathing and not being conscious of it. But when you start to control the breath, all right, cool, bro, charge your phone. When you start to control your breathing and actually start to use it properly, you'll start to manifest and feel like the tingles inside your body. Those tingles that feel uncomfortable at first, like any book you read or show, like it shows a person going through a period of uncomfort. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, cool. I had this electrical thing inside of me under control. First, you have to unlock it. Like, you have to unlock it by breathing and building up so much of a potential energy within you that it starts to spark off and go throughout the body. But you want to do it inside certain ways and lay down certain channels so it doesn't go directly into your brain and overload the system. You're having to format the entire system. Your whole body is completely formatable. I think it's a good idea to stop. Whatever, I don't know what that is. The lightning, yes. You'll start to see flashes inside yourself. It happens from time to time with me. It flashes off. And I think that's a part of the whole singing your own song inside your head. Because when you're singing your song in your head, it kind of like goes inside circles in the prefrontal cortex. If you sit here and think about your favorite song, where you're hearing it from, and you start paying attention to the inside of your head, it starts to go in the prefrontal cortex. And once it goes into the prefrontal cortex, like, it starts to keep it circulating so that it can't ground out and go into the rest of your brain and shock the shit out of you. I was looking at some stuff by Forrest Knudsen. He talks about, if you don't watch that guy on YouTube, you need to. FORRESTKNUTSON. He's a yogi, and during my time when I was actually going through a lot more training and trying to understand what's going on, his stuff was super important. And he has a story that he talks about, like, one of the master gurus messed up on his yoga, and when he did that, he fried his brain, and he got to where, like, he had shocks, and he had to, like, sit there inside of himself and actually go into a point of internal management. FORRESTKNUTSON. Forrest with 2 R's, Knudsen. Nutson with a K in front of it. But yeah, that energy that you're building up inside the system, you want it not to stay in your brain. You want it to go up, out, and like circulate through. You want to keep it going inside a circle. Yes, just move the Forrest is right. Knudsen is KNUT. You spelled it the other way. Knudsen. Which that word actually, you know how women call each other, the C word? It's Kenas Urus Nautis Tewas, which means the beacon in the abyss needs a warrior. Yeah, go check that dude out on YouTube. I get prophilic messages when mine happens, or crazy dreams. Thank you, no one talks about it. Oh yeah, like, you get dreams. What's up, super weird? How you doing? You get dreams and all that stuff. The energy, I also believe, another thing about that flash of light. So the pineal gland has cones and rods inside of it, right? And so why? We have cones and rods inside of our eyes, but we need the black hole that is our retina there, right? The black hole that light passes through for our cones and rods to pick stuff up off of. And like, then why is something like that built into the middle of our brain? What light could it receive? Unless there's something inside of there that gives off a light and it actually picks up from there. And then with that being wired into your visual cortex, the information flashes off from there, goes through you, and you have a flash of light, and like, you can get teleported somewhere else completely for a moment. Like, it just, like, you're out of the simulation. Some people stay in that, and they get caught up in rapture, and they're like stuck in that mode, and then they come back. You can also think of it like that movie Aeon Flux. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that, but whenever she wanted to go into the mode, she had this thing inside her skin implanted, and she would scratch it and pop. And when she popped it and pressed it in, it released that chemical into her system, probably DMT, and she would end up going into this whole other space and talking to like the assassin, like that whole thing. I got a fear of accidentally teleporting into the middle of the ocean. That's a good fear, bro. That's the middle of the ocean. You don't know how to control your teleport. I wouldn't stop thinking about the ocean. Don't go there. What's up, Mike?
What up, my man?
Living the life.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Chilling, hanging out. Did you
As always.
watch that? Did you watch the PS9 thing, bro?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is right there. It's the same stuff I'm talking about. Literally the same stuff.
They're just trying to do it by technology and versus yourself doing the work.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you could just take a pill and then you fucking got the shit. And it's like, nah,
You're not controlling your experience. You're not having a
no.
real experience. And next thing you know, you're out here walking around thinking that you've completed the levels for this Matrix because you've been playing all those other games, but you haven't. And then you die here, and it doesn't matter all the games you played. You didn't make yourself immortal inside the place that was actually real.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking wormhole.
It is, man. It is.
People would not know what's real and what isn't real if they did that stuff. Injecting that kind of technology into them, no. Good thing we already have it built in, and that's the way it was designed originally anyway.
Well, that's the thing I've been thinking for myself. Like, just looking at how everything's been done, it's like they're replicating the natural laws and just putting it in a technological form. Like, where did the idea come from for, what is it? What was I thinking about? Well, even just like games. Like, this idea of games, like, well, if we can make a program, how did the idea of making a program come into? Well, it all came from we're in the program. Like, we are in the simulation or whatever. So they're just
They
trying
were
to.
dreaming, and they got the
Mm,
information from the daydream or the great dreaming, and they started to manifest it here as technology. Whenever that's like the concepts are being put out there, good, we got all the concepts now. Take all the concepts, add them together, and overlay them, and see what's actually there, built already. And then like boom, you get connected with it. You already experienced it. You know how time moves differently. You can
oh,
tell when just move faster on the inside because everything starts going. It's like, man, I'm moving really quick today, and you're moving quicker than what the time you normally should be. You're ahead of schedule.
mm, mm-hmm. Well, even just with my regular job, right? Like, the
Yeah,
each week is faster and faster and faster. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
it's
it's nuts. It's flying. And so I was reading about like time is like a spiral, and the fact that we're experiencing it faster and faster is because we're getting close to that final point. Whereas you go back 200 years ago, one rotation is like this because it's so far back. So it seems like the days are longer, things are slower, and over time, just boom.
yep, explosion. That's why the country folk tend to sit around and talk about like this. It was lower times back then. You cities have to talk all fast. And used car salesmen, they come here and they talk to you. A quick talk and get you all thinking about, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Get you all excited, get you all in, bam, you done bought a car.
Oh man.
That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
is this what happened to the other species like the gray and reptilians? They focus too much on the technology and not the spirit. Oof. So, like, it's fucking. If you probably noticed this too by now. There's different time periods inside this, and there's different storylines, right? There's been these different things that have happened. So back in the purest dreaming, before all the technology and stuff, the creator had his dragons. Everything was dragons. Everyone was aspiring to become a dragon. A lot of the like Chinese myths talk about like dragons amongst men and how like those were the emperor type people and stuff like that. So you have like that older time before, and then you start getting to where like, okay, well, we've mastered the cultivation aspects, like what you read into the books, those basic cultivation aspects, we've mastered it here into this area. Time to expand out to another area. And so you had people starting to be able to warp and teleport across different planes and places and stuff using their consciousness. And then there was other people around them that weren't enlightened. So basically, it's like us playing the game, and then there's the humans that aren't enlightened. So we end up sitting there and we like would tell them things about the science that we understand, like from our like internal seekings, and they replicate it via technology. And this is where you get the things like the Greys and the reptilians and stuff like that. Because us, me and you, like, you know, people that do the whole resurrection thing, whenever you go to another place, well, once you die and you come back, like no matter where the fuck you are inside the creation, the dude just died. Clearly, we were violent against him. The dude died, and he got back up. Right? Common civilized people would be like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Peace. I'm out.
They're like, we killed it. We killed it. It's not supposed to come back. But then you have stories like that one I sent you with the African dude that they kept on killing and he kept on resurrecting and coming back. And they cut his body parts up and sent him all over the world trying to think that'll stop him. He reappeared inside their office. And it's like,
Hmm.
in the future, there's going to be a lot of people like me here, and they're not going to be happy or nice about it. And that was like back in the 60s.
Hmm.
Here we are now in the future. And it's like, oh, it's the time. A lot of people are like that, and they're not going to be happy about it. You know,
Yeah.
people waking up being like, "It's a dream." The Matrix was created for us to have logic. All you have to do is exceed the Matrix and go back into the dream. And then inside the pure dreaming, the chaos of everything that hits you, you know that uptick. When that uptick hits you, you have to hold yourself steady. Your awareness, your point of focus, you have to know who you are as you're going into the all, because you're being like, it's like a baptism of insanity that happens.
Hmm.
And you're like, whoo, you make it through there and you're like, what the fuck was that? No matter who you are, you're like, what the fuck was that? And then like after that, we're going on playing the game and you have to complete the missions or whatever to meet the creator. You know, they do the uptick into 5D. You felt that. You know that
Yep.
the thing's gonna happen, everything. Now it's like, all right, just trying to go get meet the creator, get resurrection, or like, you know. But these are certain signs that everything's happening, and not to worry about it. You've already been transferred beyond the matrix, and you're back into the air. You know, you got
Hmm.
the air, and so stuff is those other people, those other the ones who have been out there and done stuff like that. Like they lost the teaching. Reptilians, the Greys, their planets became dead worlds. They can't even have children on their planet anymore. They abduct people and stuff like that. Their species are supposed to die out, and they keep on using cloning to bring themselves back. Duh.
Yeah. It's. I think you were telling me about like or maybe someone they were fucking with their DNA so much that they can't carry it on, so they have to, like you're saying, abduct and like their species is like done, and they have to go to other species and basically mutilate and change them to keep theirs going on.
Yep.
Not authentic.
It's because they kept on messing with their stuff. They tampered with their genetics far too much that like they didn't know what they're doing as usual because it's a song being sung. It's like taking a note and being like being sung through a DNA. You're like when it's supposed to be peaceful. You keep on all of a sudden the song isn't playing peaceful harmonies, and now it's like, oh, unnatural, can't reproduce. You ended your own flower of life by keeping on fucking with yourself instead of leaving it natural. And now they're like, well, get the humans to splice their DNA. It'll happen. Meanwhile, like people like us are already woken up and it's like, yeah, bro, that's not gonna work. I can go ahead and send you to the end of that path and let you know where that shit's gonna end at. You're already there. They're like reptilians and greys, like, oh, we're your future descendants. Yeah, because you kept on fucking with the DNA, dumbass.
Hmm.
Now you're coming back to the past trying to figure out how the fuck to fix yourself, dummy.
Keep it natural.
Go smoke some herb and chill out, aliens. The earth is all about growing herb. It's fertile soil. We should be like the international or intergalactic herb dealers. Mm, all. Make the finest hash. I want the Hut to have our shit in his bar.
Reason it's called the peace pipe.
Right? I can only you sitting there, you're a Native American dude by the fire. Some other person walks up, everyone's hooded and stuff. All these different aliens sitting around you, but no one's showing their face, not even you. And you're just passing the peace pipe around. Everybody's wearing gloves. You can't tell what the hell we are. It's at night. We're all wearing black. We're sitting there smoking with shadows on a peace pipe and talking inside of language.
Just
or we
sharing stories and
and you start hearing stuff upstairs coming in. The thoughts start talking, and it turns out it's these other people's voices, and you're just sitting there and you communicating back.
mm-hmm.
Walking on different planets, raising my frequency keeps me plugged. Yeah, you got to keep on going. I'm living here most of the time now, but like I still do like the whole shadow projection out to different places, and I'll sit around on my in a daydream and just walk around the creation in general and see what the hell I see. Kind of important. Aren't they like a stranger? Yeah, but I mean, if you're sitting there and you're doing like this stuff in the deep yoga states and you're falling in, like before in the past, whenever our kind would meet up, like, aren't they like a stranger? Well, that's good if they have baby lung for green. That means they're a cheap smoke.
I was just gonna say lightweights.
Next year, ET don't want to file for down home.
E.T. forgot home.
E9, Sector 9.
That's part of the for these voices there. Like that's part of you knowing who you are. You can find your voice, your certainty within yourself. So when all the voices are coming in, you can recognize, okay, yeah, like who's what, and that's not me. That's not my thought. I know what my thought is. I know who I am. I know what certainty I bring to the table.
Yeah,
And you can get lost, but you have to keep coming back, and that includes being even out here in the real world. I mean, even for me, like I've slowed down on my meditation because I've been more into, work life and doing things like that. But as I've done that, I started recognizing like, oh, things are getting more real for me because I've been more engrossed there, focusing there versus bringing my intention in here. And there's moments where I just, nope, bring it back to here. And it's like I'm turned back on again. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm just swinging from I'm in the game, I'm out of the game. I'm in the game, I'm out of the game. Like, what the hell's going on?
and eventually you get to where like, all right, in the game.
Yeah, you're just on.
Always on.
Yeah.
And like
You,
the hard voices that I realized, like, so breaking through, and when I broke through, I heard like all these voices inside my head. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, wait a second. It sounds like they're arguing. I started listening to what they were saying. And they were arguing back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like, oh, the congregation of heaven. Because it's like judgment time. So they're arguing passionately for each side and stuff. Trying to make sure that we do the right thing for all beings. Cool. Don't want to talk to them. And I like, took my brain. It was like, went from Senate, forum, private message, the person that doesn't have a name. And also I'm like, Addy Yogi, can you hear me?
DMs, sliding into the DMs.
Right? Literally slid into his DMs. I'm like, I don't want to hear all that. No, that's too many voices. Fuck that. I don't care about them. What's the creator got to say?
Mm-hmm.
I on him.
The main
Like,
guy. I mean, there's no point. Got to go to the source.
yep. All the other gods, you can sit there and be like, and Thoth said this, and Isis says this, and this says this. Fuck that. That's dumb. They're named. What's the dude like that doesn't have a name? That keeps on like popping up in all these legends and stuff. I just broke through this like one crazy place, so why not just go ahead and focus over there? Form
Mm-hmm.
and you meet Christ and like, what's up, Jesus? Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Form, creator.
The thing behind all the things.
Yeah.
And when you, at least for me, when I sit, as you're even talking about it, as I'm thinking about it, it's just like, you can feel it. You can sense that there is a sentient consciousness there behind it all. Like,
Check this. Now, I pay attention to looking outside your eyes, right? Like right now, you can see the world around you and everything,
Mm.
but in your mind, you still see that blackness, right? As your eyes
Mm-hmm.
are, there's still that blackness inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Feel behind that. One step forward, two steps back. Behind the blackness, behind your eyes, reach out your intention.
Mm.
You start to feel that pull that's going on back there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pull yourself back in and up.
I
One
know,
step.
I know exactly what you're talking. I know, I've done, I've played with that feeling of this and going in, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the place to go.
Yeah, because you can be right here with all the rest of the gods and the Senate and everything like that, and like you're standing on the front lines ready to go ahead and throw down, and then you just dip back into the darkness with the shadow and sit there with the Creator because you figured it out. Oh, that's the actual thing, the I am that I am, and you go and sit there at His right hand, and you're like, oh, I'm like His brother. He doesn't want sons. He raised us up to become what we become. We made our own character, and now like we become like brothers. And that's why you have like Aben Adiel and Lucifer in the show Lucifer.
Mm.
Amen is great. Adi is first. El, Elohim, the great first El, and they show him as a big black dude.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And then you have Lucifer, or the light bringer, the person on the outside. People go around doing stuff. So it's interesting. It's right there. It's like in shows and everything. The,
Everywhere.
everywhere. Nothing is silent. It's just you. People don't know how to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally right there. It's so crazy. But you know that it's wonky.
Oh,
When you pretend you're a monk, you monk, wonk.
yep. It is wonky as fuck.
Wonk.
Completely.
But
Completely.
monkey, yeah,
Yeah.
monkey mind,
Mm-hmm.
wonky. Monkeys go a little wonky, and then you calm down.
Mm-hmm.
You already learned the lessons. No little monkeys jumping on the bed.
Well, I definitely bumped my head a few times.
Like, but we can do this. We can do this. I know some people that get into it and like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and you can see the power taking over within them, and they're like, I'm gonna project and do this. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think you're as strong as you think you are because you're not projecting outside yourself. You push a little bit too hard, you might just break yourself. You'll break your own mind. And then you see them push, 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 and nothing happens. And they're like, oh, I don't understand what's happening. I don't. And their whole everything just shuts down and breaks down.
Is that able to rebuild from there though?
Yeah, you're able to. If they
Right.
can, that person that they thought they were,
Say that again.
you can. If they can admit they're not that person that they thought they were,
Mm.
make it. Some people are like, oh, I'm Jesus the Christ. You're not Jesus, bro.
No.
That's what happens whenever people start getting there and they go into a state of delirium and they're like, I'm Jesus the Christ. Oh. And they're like, you're trying to take someone else's name. No, dude, that's not what it's about. Me, I'm sitting up here running through like my inner temple, doing the whole simulation inside myself, doing a 40-day fast, and my body's dying. You know, my shit was intense because I did everything probably wrong, but I did things semi right. I'm trying to make it easier for everyone else. But yeah, I'm sitting there running, and all of a sudden I hear a voice, and like from out of nowhere, be like, "He has become the Christ." I'm like, "Fuck you! No, I haven't. I'm just trying to get back to the Creator. Leave me alone."
Yeah, and that's part of knowing who you are.
Yeah, but then
So
it's
you can't get called up in those things.
yeah, you can't get caught up inside of it. You have to be able to become one with all, and like have everyone flowing through you, all their emotions, all everything. Let that guard fully down and accept everything. But also, while you're accepting everything, you can act as yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's super important. That stuff there, everyone else is supposed to help build your fire. Not like you're supposed to carry them inside of you, inside your heart. It doesn't matter what the hell they think about you. The only person who knows what you're actually going through is the creator. The person that's back there in that dark spot. He's watching everyone, waiting to see who gets the point of the game, sitting there like an old man mischievously like tapping his fingers. Like that whole thing. And so it's wonky. They're not gonna get it. Some people will. To Allah, I say, yeah, attend my fireplace. Yeah. I was at a place that looked like a castle with black and white tiles with a shadow being normal. Yeah. All right. So if you go to the old castle, like there's many old zones inside of here, and black and white tiles, the checker pattern floor. That's that whole Masonic symbolism that the people use all the time. But they're taking that from the dream world because that's kind of like the Joker floor, and like being Jokers, like, well, okay, we have the Dark Carnival. Let's see if you can choose the right path to get back to the show, the carnival in the grave, the actual show, and not their crazy carnival that they're doing. So the castles and stuff like that, that goes back to our childhood dreaming of there being castles everywhere. And like we were going to go see that type of stuff. We're as kids, we're probably like, I'm going to go adventure and see these kinds of places because they really exist here. And like we grow up and never go see those kinds of places. We
Mhm.
stop and we get trained by the Matrix to think about what's safe and have a plan for you to return. That type of stuff. So,
Isn't the black and white like I think you were telling me to do like the hemisync in the
him,
cinema
oh yeah,
between the
when
because
I
it flicks between the two.
hmm I was sitting there in my meditation and I was running, right? And as I ran, I had like one side of me had my white coat on. And when I had my white coat on, I was looking like Merrick. And so I had like, the other face. Then when I stepped again, I had my black coat on that I normally wear. Like it was me. And then white foot, like, left foot, I'd be white, right foot black, left foot white, right foot black. And the images in my mind, I start flashing them back and forward so much. And then like I went and like sped it up. I
Hmm.
took control of it and made it start like flashing on both sides and going back and forth. And so
Mhm.
it was like flashing the whole time. And that forced the both brains to start flashing and it hemisynced.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I've had the black and white flashing going on where there's literally like a split in
Yep.
my meditation, and it's like black, white,
Mm-hmm.
flashing, and I'm like, the fuck is going on here?
You
The
don't even.
hell is this shit?
Yes, these are things that actually happen inside people. I'm sitting here talking about this stuff, and it's like, no, you will see it. It
Mm.
happens. You just pay.
Hmm.
It's hard to believe. You won't believe your eyes that it's actually going on. You're like, wait, what the fuck's going on? And that's what makes you key in on it. It's so subtle like that.
Hmm.
Experience something you don't know what the hell you experienced.
The thing that really solidified it for me was when I was hearing the music and people talking. Like I was in like I meditate in a closet, door closed. It was like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, or some shit.
I
And
told
I'm meditating, and all of a sudden I hear like a balloon pop right here. Like I'm like, I don't move, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm in a closet. It's 3 in the morning. Nobody's up. And a balloon's popping beside me, and then hearing music coming out of it, like just someone slowly turning up the volume. It's just this music. It's like away, and
you.
it's slowly do whatever coming louder, and all of a sudden I'm just like, fuck, that's a pretty good tune. Like, where is this coming from? Like, what the hell is this? Yeah, like as if I'm in a concert or as if I'm right there.
Yeah. Just because I'm a PG, it doesn't matter what you do. I don't know. Yeah, no, that stuff gets to where it's like a concert. It's like a full on like symphony playing inside of you. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
you start to take over. My music gets so loud. I'll be walking around the world and all of a sudden it's like I'm like, yeah. Walking around Kroger's. Bob.
Bobbing your head to music and no headphones, just
Yep. That's what I put my headphones in and so people think I'm listening to music. I'm just like walking around. I make sure I have the headphones with the cords. Like
oh yeah.
I want you to know I'm listening to music. I see people walking around with their AirPods in, they're talking to the air. They're just like, blah, 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 blah. Well, if we didn't know there was AirPods, you would think that was a crazy fucking person.
Yeah. That's
Like,
exactly it. That's just a few times people walking by me just, oh, no, no, I'm like, the fuck, who you talking to? And then I see the little
yeah,
AirPod. I'm like, oh, okay.
I had that thing where I seen the black hole in my mind's eye. You're supposed to enter into that. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, go in the hole.
Shadow with glowing red eyes. I was like, it's him. That's the creator, by the way. Glowing red eyes, the Eye of Sauron, the overlord for all this. The first color in the spectrum is red. So he uses red to symbolize his old self. So he'll typically show up as like a smart dressed man with red eyes. If you pay attention. Or he'll
Mm.
show up and be, if he's really feeling freaky, he'll show up as an all black liquid like being and like stand up there and like he's so black that he's shiny as he walks around. You think he's made of metal, but he has, if you touch him, his skin, that's how shiny he is. It's weird. He does that. So that's why all
Hmm.
these colors are red in their colors. Yeah. What up, 2 times 369? Do you observe without attachment? You have to observe without attachment. I've come to realize, all right, so like missions, the game will give you missions in meditation. If you sit there and you're breathing deep and you're like, all right, what is my mission? You'll start seeing flashes of like pictures in your mind's eye if you're paying attention. If you're paying attention and just observing without attachment, not trying to force which way it goes, you'll start seeing images. My images start off like people in love and like walking around, children walking in parks and stuff like that. And then it goes to the dark shit that's going on actually here in the world. And then like it starts ciphering through these different things in my own internal mind. I'm not thinking anything. I'm just observing what the mind is showing me and reflecting to me. And it does not belong to me. I'm taking it more so because it's not my mind I'm receiving it from. I'm letting go of my mind so that I can receive the images. Now, me, I attuned myself to do the creator's will, that whole thing. So I receive missions from there. But if people start worshiping gods and stuff like that, they'll receive the missions from them. But by them worshiping the gods and stuff, they don't get back to the creator because you don't know what those dudes are actually up to. He knows what they're up to, but some of them might have forgot what the hell what this really is. So, but yeah, you get missions from your screensaver when you sit there meditating. Just observe, be present, and observe.
It's
Don't.
key.
That's how I know. I'm like, all right, I had to go get a scrying book. I went and got a book on scrying so I can start using mirrors to project my consciousness through. And in real time, I'm going to look at the places where they're trafficking kids. I'm going to figure it out by doing that type of like scrying projection, remote viewing thing, like the old magics, the old wizards used to do. That's why they all had mirrors. And we have
Hmm.
mirrors everywhere. And everyone's so afraid of mirrors, but we're sitting here looking at each other through a black mirror. Hell, I
Yep.
probably will figure out how to do it on my phone and make a spell interlinked with technology. Hmm.
It's the same shit to me, I think, man. It's just a heightened form of it with
Yeah.
it. But
It's something
but
I,
I agree. Like the attachment piece is huge because you need to learn. I wouldn't say need. That's incorrect. Best for the most effectiveness is not being attached because if you are attached and not observing, what thought is the attachment from? Is it because I don't feel like I'm good enough, or is it because I feel I'm better than everybody, or any of these traumas that have been put in as a child growing up? And so now instead of me going out and do the things that I know that I should be doing or could be doing to become more effective, I'm judging it from a attached place. But if I can take away that attachment and just observe it for what it is, neutrally, then you can
be
just move in the direction. What's that?
be a dude doing things.
Be a dude doing things.
That's it.
Just
If you
just
just
go.
yeah, you observe it from the whole detachment. You know, all right, I've had this shit happen to me in my past life, my life. This is where I am right now. This is my past. Whatever. Can't really do shit about it. It's in the past. Lion King. I'm a dude doing things. Let go of all the things. Observe.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I reset myself. I was like, why? What's up with so many powerful nations being red or blue? It's red and blue Kachina symbolism. It's the two of them arguing together. The Kachina is whenever you realize it's not red or blue, but it's purple. The creator's first color, he's starts off as red. That's why he uses that. It's the fear of the Lord aspect. But over time, it's like it elevates, and you get to purple. It's like the Renangan and the royal-eyed people, that type of stuff. So red and blue come together to make purple. It's your two hemispheres of your brain arguing with each other.
Sympathetic, parasympathetic systems.
Yep. It's the argument the whole time. Once you combine the two together and have them both fire up, people are like, oh, you want to be completely relaxed. So you want to go ahead and become completely relaxed and turn the power down inside your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. You want to get silent. And that's going to open the Sushumna Nadi. And it's going to make the energy flow up directly up the middle of the spine. Okay, problem. You've down revved your system. You down revved everything. Where's the energy coming from to power that ascent up? If you rev both sides up, both your fear and rage, it makes you look like you're going crazy. It does that, but you have to be aware enough inside there. It's like you're about to blast off in any direction, so you're having to stay aware, dead middle. And as you fire up both of them, the energy starts adding together, and it overflows, and it goes to the Sushumna, and the purple nadi starts to flow up. You start having the final nadi pass, so you rev up both of them, and you felt it before. Fight!
Oh, fuck
When
yeah.
both of them start like revving up and it starts interplaying and it goes purple and you're like, this is me. Then you're used to like, it's no longer red or blue. The game's no longer red or blue. It's not about nations. It's not about countries. It's about the whole goddamn creation and like what you within the creation and the whole thing. Like being able to teleport to other planets, all the shit that we dreamed of being able to happen. It's actually possible, guys. Congratulations. It's a dream. It's a matrix. It's a simulation. You got to get access to it first, though. So why is
But
everything?
like,
I don't get it. People are caught up on worshiping because I don't know. They want acknowledgement from someone else. It's I don't know. The creator doesn't want to be worshipped. But if you're going to worship anyone, worship him. It's a smart thing. It's the only person in the creation that can grant you your resurrection is the first being that does not die and just is. Anyone else can be put on ice if he chooses to, and they no longer exist. He is, but he's chill because he's like, I'm here. I'm going to be here. This is just it. You get it, you don't. So, if you worship anyone, I'd say worship that guy. I didn't even try to worship. I was just trying to get back to him. And then I
just
came
meet him
like,
and ask him a question. What the fuck is this? What's the truth? What's the underlying tone of all this? What's the point? Like, what is it?
Yep.
That's it for me, anyways. It's just like once I understand that,
I am.
and it's just like exactly like it's just it. I am. That's it. And then being able to convey that message so other people can start to grasp and comprehend. But going back to with the blue and red thing, my boy was playing a Dragon Ball Z game, and in the game Goku was fighting Frieza, and this where he goes Super Saiyan for the first time, and like when he goes Super Saiyan, it's when his best friend gets killed, Krillin. And he like Goku. Everyone who knows Goku is like pure of heart, the nicest guy, like super chill. But then all of a sudden you fucking kill his best friend. He's like, "Fuck you," and just woof, and that's the red side with the blue side, and then the purple coming through to get the
two mixed together to make purple, and that's Super Saiyan access. And we start getting like that. Whenever you start going purple, you'll start randomly feeling like the spider webs in your face. But you know,
yeah.
Have you felt that?
Like tinglies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the spider webs start happening. That's the fucking Dragon Ball Z electricity. Like when they're transformed and like it's going off. We had that happening to us. We start generating that. It's like the basic, like whenever they power up the first times and they had like the white aura and they had like little electricity going on outside of them. We start getting that.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
I feel like finding our homes within healing and breakthrough the lies of society is placed in our face, bro. Like, you just do it, man. He'll break you like a Kit Kat if you mess with his friends. Yeah, Goku will break you like a Kit Kat if you mess with his friends. And we're way too. The creators like stop. Like me, when I think about what they're doing to the kids, like the whole like it just starts to happen. The rising energy starts happening. I'm like, oh, you done fucked up. I feel my heart rate starting to increase already. It's starting to beat faster. My whole shit starts like going on. All right, bro. Catch you later, Elite Squadron. That's what's up. Once that shit starts going off, though, that's some real shit. It happens inside of you. It really does start happening. The cultivation thing. All right, so everyone, like, seriously, sit here right now and think about, like, you want to just jump forward. Like, you just want to fucking go forward, but don't let your whole body move. You want to move with your full body movement. You're going to jump up everywhere, but don't let it move. Now, as you do that, hold it. Hold the anticipation. You'll start to feel the tingle all over your body. Then all you do is focus on that tingle and feel it pulling into the center of your abdomen. And you'll start to notice, like, make it spin, because spin is a part of the game. And once you start making a spin, you'll notice like a little ball of energy forming there inside your body. Boom, there you go. Keep your attention on that. That's your core. Just keep on holding it. Pull it in, compress it down, make it spin faster. Like,
Condense it.
condense
That's a
it.
big one. And
That's,
I was doing that when I was like 14. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing
yeah.
until I started talking with you. I'm like, oh, you do this. I'm like, the fuck? Like, I've been doing this, man. What the hell? You're just confirming shit.
I didn't know I was doing it. And then we didn't know what to do with our chi either. We were cultivating chi, but there was no instructors, like nowhere.
Nope.
Everywhere you went to, people were like, I know martial arts. Hit this, do this. But rarely did I teach people about chi.
Mm-mm.
That's what I'm finding. So me being in the woods and just training with the woods was actually probably better for me.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Next thing I know, like people were sitting there and they'd be fighting me and they'd hit me. My chi be going, and my body's like stone. They're like, "What the fuck are you made of?" Me, oh, I didn't know I was just that compressed with energy. Like,
Mm.
if only I would have known what I was doing back then, I would not have stopped. Wait, so the feeling is pulling energy from your whole body to the core, or just down your spine? No, dude, you build it into the core, and then from the core you drop it down to like you flex your butthole and relax it halfway. Sorry for saying it like that. That's how it is. You relax halfway, and you feel a tingle at the base of your spine. That's root chakra. Make that start to spin up and spin faster, and the energy starts to flow up the spine. It doesn't matter if it's spinning left or spinning right. People are like, control the nadis. You get them to both slow down so much that like it goes to where it's still. You can do that. You can make it still and it's gonna sit there. It's like it's like a little emerald pulsing thing. You want to make it start spinning faster. You want to visualize it. And then it'll start to like some weird gravitational wave. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's something. And then it starts like energy starts going up the spine.
Mm-hmm.
Like it starts to go up. Where to find more about chi and cultivation of energy? Honestly, on here I have a playlist, The Language of the Birds. Go through and watch all the videos in there because I've been giving away the books that have the chi things in there. And like you can find stuff on it, like you can go to like Damo Mitchell and Taoist Nagong. There's different books that are out there about it, but I find it's more natural to find out about whenever people learn something from the dreaming itself and how the characters are using it and developing and exploring with it, and you start using it inside your own body and playing with it and exploring with it because you're it's supposed to be about childlike wonder, chi, so it's like childlike wonder and doing that stuff. So how do you develop your powers? You learn how to pull it in, you learn how to cultivate it, you learn how to condense it. And once you start to condense it and have enough, you start thinking, well, what do I want to start off with using water powers? Do I want to start off with telekinesis or force powers? Do I want to start off using like pyrokinesis? So there's various ways that we can integrate our dreaming and use our energy to power that. But just remember at the same time, we can use all the different paths and don't limit yourself to just having one, keeping yourself open to everything. This place is about building all the connections. You use your energy as you're moving it, and you move it up the spine, have it go all the way up to the top of your head. Remember, you'll start feeling it. Sometimes it comes to your brain. That's as you start getting more advanced and getting to like the final stages. But it's supposed to stay in the outer ring, and it comes up, and you feel it on the top of your skull. Then it comes down, and it goes to the frontal chakras, and you circulate it throughout the system like that, and it purifies the energy as you circulate it more. And then you take in more energy. You sit here, like it's really like I tell people think about like pulling something, right? And there's a different motion when you push. You can feel the push going away from you. So when you sit here and think pull, pull, pull. Now reach out to the space around you, the air, the area. So sit here and feel everything on the top of your skin. Feel the electricity on the top of your skin or your skin boundary, the air, and then start letting yourself leak beyond that to where it's like a mist that's kind of hanging off of you and going all around you. At that point, when you start getting to there, that's when you think pull, and you like pull all the energy in from the water around you. You start pulling it in to pull into your system. And then from there, you pull in as much as you can on a breath. You sit here and like pull. Condense. And push it into the system. And then you move it throughout the system inside your like silent breathing and meditations. You're pulling in, and as you pull in more, you open the channels more. It's like how the skin, our skin has the ability to take in the fluoride and everything else like that. Well, it can take in the chi too. We can take it in from all over
Mm-hmm.
and condense it down into the body. And by doing that, especially when it's hot outside, you go sit inside a shaded tree and you start pulling in the ether because the ether is vibration or the heat. You know, whenever the south the whenever we're doing summer and stuff, the sun's closer to us, so we're receiving more of the chi from the sun. By the way, our magnetic field is set up. It's not set up on the planet to sit here and like vibrate all at once. It's set to where it has like this offset, so the whole planet isn't leaking in chi. The North Pole or South Pole, whatever pole one, gets more chi right now, or during the summer, and then in the winter we get less chi. And when we have less chi, that's when we use our stored chi and we refine this stuff inside our system. Now, as you start doing this, and you're doing it outside during the summer, you're going to notice that your body gets a lot hotter. You feel a lot hotter all the time. Remember how you got to that point where you're sweating during your fast and you just couldn't stop sweating? Because you at that point had no choice but to exist off the energy. So you were pulling the chi in and you were overflowing your chi by using like, the dancing and stuff like that. You were using the techniques. And as you're using the techniques, you're building the chi and it was actually pushing the gunk out of your skin. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why self processing and detoxing a lot better, but you were still pulling in energy from the outside world around you to keep you going. So as you know, the fast was not that hard for you. It
Mm-hmm.
was hard, but it wasn't like super hard. My
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I was out there dying. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like having to like force myself to not eat. And then my mom was like, you should eat something. I'm like, nope, just like eat it. I'm like, okay. I ate it, then I puked it back up, and I was like, ugh, don't eat. I was anyway. I couldn't tell her I puked it back up, but no, it definitely happened. And so I'm like, all right, that just drained me of more energy. I'm actually better off just sitting here and building chi. And like when I start feeling tired, it's like a go-go machine. You know, like you move and it generates energy or whatever. The watches that we have generate energy as we move our hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sit here and you start revving your watch back up. You're outside dancing in the middle of the night. Next thing you know, boom, like the vibrations built inside you. You're pulling in the chi from the water around you. You're all of a sudden like, I don't feel like I need to fucking eat as much. You stop drinking as much. You like, yeah, it's
So that's literally what it was for me. Like, especially now because I know I've definitely read down.
yeah,
Like when I go to fast, it's like a fight. Like I gotta like 40 days. Fuck yeah, whatever, no problem. When I did that, but
yeah.
now for me to do 2 days, I'm like, oh my god, my stomach. Like, what the fuck is going? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, am I missing something here? Like,
Imagine Moses getting over it, being back to being a dude, and also like Moses, go back up the hill again for 40 days and talk to God, and he's like,
seriously, I'm like, do I have to do another 40 days to fucking go through? Like, I don't. I could. Do I want to? I don't know. Fuck.
then you come back down, and they're like, they done made a golden bull, and you're like, kill them. That's
Pull the
it.
Thanos snap.
That's literally 40 days that you come back down. You're like, I'm like, no, they're dead. They're died. This is this is. I can envision the spiral as you were talking about. It's pretty cool. Would this be cleanse blocked energy? Yeah, dude. That technique when you sit here and pull it in, and you spiral it up. You do this over and over again. It's going to clean out the blocked energy in the chakras. It's going to renew your body and stuff like that. As you're pulling in the energy, it's supposed to be like a simple system, but not overly simple. So you have to have like layers to it, and you build a spiritual practice by the different things you put into practice, and you build the techniques, and the techniques all start to overlay on each other to give you your basic foundation for cultivation.
Mm-hmm. And part of what you're saying when you're pulling the end, when you feel it on your skin, it's like qigong, where you breathe through your skin. That's a big one is learning to breathe. Like you guys, for you guys watching right now, you could probably do it right now if you just close your eyes and just sit still and just imagine breathing. But every inhale, imagine every part of your skin everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's exposed to the air or not. Just imagine when you breathe in, it's you're breathing through your skin versus through your, still breathe through your nose and your mouth, but you can feel the energy flowing through your skin. It's
Yep,
another way to bring energy in.
it's the same. It's basically the same thing I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like how
Yep. That's exactly
outside
it.
pull it in, and then you start pulling the energy in. You can build it into channels. First, you grid the body, or that's what I did. Once you grid the body, you can start refining it and make it into finer channels and having to go into certain muscle attachments and everything like that and start dropping the energy like into those areas and energizing the cells more with the chi and the prana.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that was awkward dropping a tablet back then. Way worse than dropping a phone today. I mean, I mean, technically, dropping a tablet to Moses would be like, "Oh, it broke," and chi, and it got stuck back together. Healed it. Like they were on that stuff back then, and they were trying to play the game, but they also had the responsibility of keeping mankind alive. Aladdin did not have that. Oof. Uh-uh.
Mm.
I can only tell you so much. I can tell the people what's happening, and like I'm gonna go play the game. I got the resurrection. I'm not gonna always look at this. I got stuff I'm doing. I'm telling love stories and stuff. Copy space dead. Trying to look for y'all copy space, mom. So
Oh man, that's hilarious.
yeah,
No, it's a
that's
big one. Even with my wife, because she's doing traditional Chinese medicine now.
yeah. How's that going?
Oh, dude, it's perfect because I'm going through my stuff,
Yeah,
and she's learning, but everything I'm going through, she's learning it. And so she's testing it on, well, I would say testing it on me. And so, for example, she was talking to her teacher, and I think I mentioned this to you, where she was explaining kind of the thoughts I've been having, and the energy was lower and stuff. And she's like, "Oh," and then she explained what I was doing in my whole spiritual time. She's like, "Oh, he expended a lot of his yin energy or Jing energy, which is what allows you to go inward. And when you expel it, it
mm-hmm.
feels like you're spiritually disconnected, and it's very hard to have a focused mind." And I'm like, "The fuck is she like? Is she watching me? Like, how does she know all these things that I'm experiencing?" And so I've been doing things to help get my kidneys, my kidney system running.
Yeah, I need
There's a Chinese herbal medicine that helps replenish the yin energy in your kidneys. And then I'm like, okay, that's been going, and I'm like, still other things haven't shifted. And so we figured out. I forget what it's called.
yeah,
Shaoju, I think is what it is. I think it's my lymphatic system now because the last 2 months I kind of been in a state, 2 3 months of just like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat whatever.
yeah.
Sugar's up. Like I haven't really cared. And so I think the stagnant of my lymphatic system not being able to move, which has now the Shaoju can't move the energy through my system.
Mm-hmm.
So starting tomorrow, I'm like, all right, I'm in detox mode. Let's see if I can get this lymphatic system cleaned out. And if that shifts it, but everything that I'm trying, she's talking to her teacher, and her teacher's like, yep, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Oh, burn, what's it called? Patchouli, the incense patchouli.
Yeah.
She's like, burn incense. And I've been burning that shit on my own. I'm like, because if you have
Been feeling the need to run that, and you know, patchouli is actually a death herb.
a death herb, oh, really? Did know that. Did know that.
Death herb.
Very
The stuff pops up all the time. I told you about my apprentice, man, right?
Which
Oh,
wait a minute.
my apprentice, like my little apprentice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like so she's like
Mm-hmm.
10 now, and I went and saw her for Christmas, and like the bad mom Christmas was on or whatever, and she was walking around. She came around the corner right at the part where like there's a male stripper dude on the screen, and she looked up and like saw the imprint, and then she like turned around, looked at me dead eyed, and was like, "I'm out." Walked outside, and I see her outside screaming to herself. I'm like, ah, I'm like kicking the wall. I'm like, yep, it'd be like that kid. Her old. And then all of a sudden she stopped and she sat down and got like traditional Chinese style, like with her knees underneath her knees and stuff. And I see her sit there and go like this. I'm like, fuck's she doing? I felt like a disturbance in the force. What's she doing? I walk outside. I'm like, what are you doing? And here on her own, she's like, I reached out to the souls of the dead. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm a death sage, first off. That's my first thing. So I'm like, if there was ever a doubt in my mind if she's my apprentice, that that's all.
Just right there, yeah. Answered the question.
Literally. Like
Mm-hmm.
this stuff, these little kids, she's only 10. And like we used to do this stuff.
Yeah.
The kids and like talking to them like this shouldn't be new to anyone. We used to do it and we used to believe it and we were trying. We just didn't know what the hell we were doing because we didn't have guides to tell them what the hell to do.
Mm-hmm. And then just as we go along, we find out things and oh, the magic disappears, so and so isn't real that we think, or so and all of a sudden, oh,
Yeah,
I guess so.
I guess
Slow, yeah.
it's just a fantasy.
And
But
everything just comes down.
and you're doing things and your wife is synchronistically whatever, she's inside TCM and like as you're doing things naturally on your own accord because you're not talking to her teacher. And she's just telling your teacher what you're doing, and it's like, boom, you're done. She's like, I would do. That would do. That's what I would do.
Oh,
It's
it's fucked.
and it's like this already.
It's well, the thing that's crazy to me is like I feel like I'm going through this so I can help my wife learn because she gets to work with me from ground zero and rebuild myself after my 40-day fast because I've noticed a lot of muscle tissue went away in that 40-day fast. So now my posture is completely different. I have more different mobility. And so I'm in a position now where I'm rebuilding all my muscle to get a proper form, proper function, on the physical temple side of things. And as I'm going through, I'm feeling off here. I'll mention something to my wife. She's like, "Oh, that sounds like you got dampness in your system. If you're too damp, your system develops phlegm and mucus." And so patchouli helps dry out the dampness. But you can't add water because it's like mud. Your earth, she's like your earth and your water are too much. So it's making mud. And if you're too damp, it's one of the hardest ones to get rid of because you need water to get rid of it, to clean it out, but you're just making it more damp. And so it's a very slow process. And I'm like, fuck, between the two of us, I'm sure we'll figure this out. And once it just clicks, she's going to know how to do it because she saw me do it. And I'm going to understand what the hell's going on and experience it. So I'll be able to talk about it and share that with people.
Her and explain it, and at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, you're also growing your knowledge because of what she has also extra to add. Little things you can add to your stuff that you're doing.
Oh,
It's way cool how like this is happening. Like it's really like I'm happy that you get to do it. You're doing the whole thing on a different like aspect of me. I had
yeah.
to
Oh.
get things. I'm there. I'm learning.
Just grunt like a big grunt right through it, just fucking forcing it. Just ah.
That's about to happen. Fuck it, but it's fun. I also figured out a. What's the fucking thing? Oh, so my like skin, dry skin, stuff like that, right?
Mm.
Cucumber, cuckoo imba, cool the ember. So it's actually help. Is you try using cucumber.
Okay.
Cucumber to be able to help the water wash out easier.
Like
It's
just
more
eating it or like
juice it, eat it,
oh
whatever.
okay okay
It should be able to help wash the water out easier. You know,
Mm-hmm.
hey, glad you got to catch me live. Speaking of the cat learns alchemy. This is alchemy stuff. The alchemy things I'm about to start doing next year is actually start taking supplements. The supplements like magnesium, zinc. I'm gonna go Full Metal Alchemist with it because you know how they give us the list inside Full Metal Alchemist. So
Mm-hmm.
take the list, increment it, and take in those elements to
It's
start the
crazy you're
body
saying
to
that
that.
because that's what I just started doing too.
Yeah. See, I'm about to start building the body that way, and then also using the energy to like start for like pulling in and doing the whole thing like that, and then the bellows breath, how and you can use that to heat your whole body up, doing the whole
Mm-hmm.
so soaking it. So you put the chemicals in, then you stoke the bellows and warm your body up. Then you start breathing and get to where your whole body's hot like a furnace. And then like tumo breathing, I guess. And then you start pushing the energy out and into the thing to clear out the meridians and channels.
Mm.
If you clear out the channels and stuff like that, you're also like the heart is doing this thing, and it's gonna start going through and start like rebuilding like the body muscle tissue. You're heating the body up because if you're forging something, right now,
Neat.
you need to heat everything up. So you focus on heating it up. Might be just like the squat up things. You know, we see like the movies, the anime dudes, the old dudes are all squatting down, or you're doing one of these numbers. They're sitting there like woo, doing like the squats and stuff like that, like stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they're doing stupid stuff like that, they're forcing the whole body to like heat up. The whole damn body. You're moving your legs. You're going up on tippy toes, down, squatting down, coming back up, reaching up to the sky, and you're moving the full body like thing, like a piston going up and down. Chugga, 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 and you're heating the whole self up real quick. And then you sit down and you do your breath work and get deeper into that and start forcing everything out, keeping the body heating up and forging.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense because
That's
even
this.
for me, like my training has changed into more like a mobility side to just get the body functioning properly. But before, it was like go and make yourself sweat, and I haven't been doing that as much. And what I realized now that I start doing it, what's this?
Oh, someone asked. Speaking of alchemy, you ever try Orgamus
Oh,
powder?
Ormus, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, Ormus is right there in my cabinet or my countertop.
Take
Ormus.
that as a yes. Yeah.
Shilajit to decalcify the pineal gland. Well, you know stuff about Shilajit, right?
Yeah, Shilajit. Yeah, I take that all the time. Shilajit. So it's supposed to be. I think it's similar to like sea moss in regards to the amount of minerals for your body, like 92 or really high amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's one of the, for me anyways, it's one of the best things that I take in regards to Shilajit because of the way it helps cleanse the system, remineralize the body, and get your systems running properly again. Because the
We are
thing
low.
is, the big challenge right now is like, okay, the soil is demineralized with most of the foods that people eat. So then you got weak plants growing, weak vegetation. And because they're weaker, you have bugs that want to eat them because they're weaker. So then what do they need to do? They got to spray pesticides and herbicides, et cetera, to blood of giants. Oh, I never heard that. Interesting. That resin. Because, yeah, it is. The one I take is in Siberia, Gold Mountain, Russian one, I think is Siberian one. There's two different kinds, apparently. I tried both. The one that I'm taking, it seems to be. I love it. That's my morning coffee with that Shilajit. So you never had it?
I haven't had it, but the
No.
person said that they heard it would be good for autoimmune disorder, and they have our rheumatoid arthritis. Uh, so on YouTube, type in Dr. John John Bergman, like iceberg and man Bergman, and or just like comment on one of my videos and be like, "Hey, it's me," or you should be able to send me a message. I'm pretty sure I followed you back. I hope I did. I know your name, so I'll send you the name of stuff, and then go on YouTube. And there's a dude that talks about RA. He's a dude I follow all the time, a chiropractor dude. but he talks about the way the body works and what's happening and why the system is breaking down and that type of stuff. And if you go ahead and take a look, you should be able to figure out and troubleshoot what's going wrong with the body and rebuild yourself. Usually, it's that we don't have enough minerals and enough like actual fluids, proper things inside our body. Like he was saying, the soil's weak. We don't have the proper things. The animals, bugs get onto it, and all that stuff like that. And like it ends up causing us to break down over time.
Another good guy is on here on TikTok, Raw Marbury. I don't know if you see him, Rawmarby. He talked about like all fruit diets and how to get the you move the lymphatic system and everything in your body with everything. So things like with inflammation, right? Like all of this stuff. So basically, what happens is if you have arthritis or any, again, this is just in my own experience.
Yeah,
Anytime that I've gone on a fast and I've done something to one of my scapulas in my back, so I'm trying to figure out what I got to do to correct that. And whenever it acts up and I go on a fast, all of a sudden it starts to go down, and I'm like, well, what is that? And I came across one of his videos, and what he explains is mucus goes to an area to protect it, so that it's kind of puts a bubble around that area, so that when you move it, the muscles don't cause more injury. But when that mucus sits there as that protection, it becomes stagnant and turns into phlegm, and it gets sticky and causes pain. So when
and
you
what
fast,
that be?
detox, move the mucus around the lymphatic system, it gets rid of that junk, which allows the actual injury site to actually heal
Heal,
properly.
thins out and heal. Yep,
Exactly.
that
So
makes damn sense.
fruit, high fruit, like he talks about just a straight fruit diet. Like I've done fruit, no fruit for months. I've done a lemon juice cleanse where you just have 5 lemons, squeeze the juice for breakfast, 5 lemons, squeeze the juice for lunch and dinner. You just do that because all the astringent, because they're astringent, right? That sour,
Yeah.
that causes everything to suck and pull the mucus and everything out.
Okay.
So it gets the everything moving again. So that might help. I'm not going to say it'll cure, but I mean it's worth a shot.
We don't use the words cure. We're just people trying to troubleshoot the problems going on with the body. Because you know what the doctors, their whole thing is, they're going to give you some of their pharmacopoeia or their sorcery. And then you're going to be like, oh, my symptoms got covered up and now I have rectal bleeding. All the commercials say that, blame the commercials, not me.
Yep.
I'm new to the occult. Where would I find magic books for chaos magic to create your own magic? Well, funny thing, those books I told you earlier about the chi cultivation and stuff like that, it gives you the ideas behind the dreaming to form your own magic. Usually, people who are out there, the cult books, you'll find people coming across like, oh, Aleister Crowley was this and that. And like, there's all these different things. I'm like, I don't trust them. The people making systems. It's a system. It's something that you can look into different books, find a magic store in your local area. They usually have books on magic and meditation and all these different things that people put out, weird eclectic stuff. And you can go through and read different books and start to have an understanding, the general understanding. And then, yeah. Oh, a good book series. You want to understand magic? Read The Tao of Magic. Yep. There you go. It's cultivation based, but it's magic-y and modern, and talks about stuff. And then there's Bunny, the dragon chick turns into a bunny chick because she can shapeshift like that, and so it's it's an interesting book series.
Hmm. Well, I mean, just look at when you guys think about when you were younger. What were the books that you were watching? What were the shows that you were into? Like, I know for me, Dragon Ball Z was a big one. And anytime they were doing cultivation, and because I'm like, I just want to fly around and power up and shoot energy balls at people. Like, that
Right.
is fucking cool. And there was one episode. This is where I learned how to do that energy pool thing. There was one episode where Gohan was trying to teach
With the
Pan how to cultivate energy. And he's like, you got to find the center point in your chest, and just imagine you pull everything into the center point, like right here, just like right below, right in your sternum, right below the rib cage, right in that center Dantian place. And it's just like and he's teaching her in the woods. I remember I was watching it downstairs, and I'm like, oh my god, I found the secret in how to become a Dragon Ball Z character. Okay, just put my hands together and I just pull in there. Banana and onion smoothies.
Yep.
Mm, mm, yep.
That is the time whenever Gohan was trying to teach Videl how to fly.
Not Videl. Pan. This is before
This is his daughter. Daughter.
Pan's his girlfriend, right?
Pan's his daughter.
Oh
Videl's
yes, sorry, Videl. Videl. I got him switched. Yeah. When he's trying to teach her, and he's like,
a
"You're
fly.
getting the hang of this because you already had martial arts training. You already more cultivated or versus." But yeah, they're sitting there, and he's just showing her how to make an energy ball, and he's like, "You got to focus to the center point, and all you feel is an empty space, and you'll feel a slight pull.
Yep.
When you feel that pull, boom, everything just starts going in there. And when I started doing that, I was playing with it. My wife, she was laying on my lap, and I was looking at her. I'm like, tell me if you can feel the energy. You know, this is now like 10, 15 years. Well, obviously, it'd be fucking 20 years later or something like that. And I'm like, tell me if you can feel this. And she's watching me, and all of a sudden my pupils dilate. And I'm like, what? She's like, oh, your pupils dilate. I'm like, what? I've never done it. I never showed anybody. And then I did it again. And I'm like, oh, I can make my pupils dilate on command by doing this? What the fuck is happening? Like, what is that?
You open your take in more light because your pupils are dilating and opening.
It's weird. Like, I wonder if I can even do it right now. See. I don't know if you saw my pupil dilate or not. I don't know.
Nope, not that much. Maybe a little
No.
bit. So it's easier to see inside like actual person. It's one of those things. Onion banana smoothies. Have you tried that before? Right? I figured out
I've never done that. It's just Avatar. I've never done that.
Yep, I figured out the ratio. It's not one banana to one onion. That's for damn sure. 3 bananas to a third a slice of onion. Like the whole onion, you take a third of it. It's a 3 to 1.
Okay.
You know, I figured out that.
Trial and error. Too much onion.
All of a sudden, it made a whole lot of sense when I started thinking as a pervy sage.
Mm.
I'm like,
Well, there's apparently a lot of talk of the benefits of raw onion. Like even what's his face, that Tate, Andrew Tate guy.
Oh, that guy.
He talks about he eats a raw onion a day. Apparently, it's a thing to help on the masculine side, like his thing that helps the testosterone. That boosts testosterone. Apparently, a raw onion, he's like, I just chop up a whole raw white onion.
So, secret. If you cut an onion into thirds, what does the inside look like?
Well, wouldn't it be if you cut it into? Oh yeah.
The yoni.
I wonder.
3 bananas, yoni, a third onion, and people are layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by eating the whole onion, raising testosterone, it's like a plant, herbal, masculine thing. Because first off, onions taste horrible, and they make your breath stink. But it's going to boost your testosterone and get your whole thing right. And once you finally get your body right and get past that quick burn through, because every fast that we do and things like that, it's like we're just doing a certain sadhana for that point of time, you know, a certain spiritual practice. We're eating this for this reason. And so it's going to go through and like and push it up. Yes, you're finally alive. What's going on, Junior Swish? But yeah, that's the whole female male aspect. Whenever people start embracing that type of stuff, there was a time inside the cultures when female male things were really big, and it's really amplified inside the fruits and vegetables and that type of stuff as being a celebration of life. Oh, so cool. Andy's here. What's up, bruh?
What's up, Cosmic? What's up, Mike? My name's Any Death.
What up, my man? How you doing?
Bro, one of my favorite things to tell, like how you mentioned the checkerboard pattern on the floor, that was pulled from the dream world. One of my favorite things to tell that when people pull these things, they've always existed. You just pull them from somewhere. Like Michael Jackson talked about that one day. He woke up, he's like, I have to record this song now, or Prince will, which proves that this shit's just floating out there, and people learn how to pull it into this world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's coming from a central point. It's the Akashic records, but it's all into the dreaming. And whenever you do it by your daydream, we get to access it easier. And then you start learning how to be awake while you're dreaming and shit. Like what Tesla did. And he's awake while dreaming. And then he comes back here and he starts putting the principles he learned from dreaming into action, and thus you get free energy. Where if he would have took the same system, did that inside, he would have built his own energy.
Hell yes.
No, that's exactly it. Like, this is why it's so important to know thyself. So you know what you are thinking, what your thoughts, your consciousness is being, and then you have these other thoughts coming in. So, I mean, even in today, right now, and with everything going on in the world of the last 3-4 years, most of the thoughts you're having, guaranteed, are not your own. It's being projected out onto you through TikTok, through the news, through the airwaves, through all this stuff. And you might have a thought of, I'm not good enough. And that's just an energy that's being sent out, or thought that's being sent out. I'm not happy. I'm just sad. I'm depressed. I'm whatever, all these things. And that's just a frequency that you're tapping into. But the thoughts that they come in, they sound like your voice. They sound like you. So then you assume that they are your thoughts. But if you know yourself, you'd be like, no, I know who the fuck I am. I'm not a depressed person. I can be depressed, but that's a thing I choose to be in the moment whenever I need to be in that moment for whatever reason. But tuning in and recognizing what and who I am allows me to know that, these thoughts that are coming in, that's it. They're out there. And as you go into that, then as Alex is saying here, you're going to be up in this space, and now you're going to have access to the other information, like the Teslas, and where you got the information to bring basically you take from the ethereal, the dreaming, and you bring it and you act it out, and you bring it here as a gift to the people, to other people, to learn, grow, benefit their lives, whatever it is. All ideas come from this place. All ideas.
It's been there. All the skills that we have, it starts to get and seeing all the symbolism everywhere. But then you look in the world and you see these people and what they're doing and how sloppy they are, and you realize something. There's no fucking way that these people are at. They have no idea what they're doing. They're just putting stuff in there and like, oh, this is our knowledge. They're using little code things. But yeah. No. They have no idea what they're even doing. They're just transmitting the message to those who can receive it. And we're like, oh shit. And then you start looking around you and seeing all the TV shows have a certain theme at the same time. All the fucking video games have a certain theme at the same time. And it's like the system itself is updating you on the situations of what's going on once you sit back and realize what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Don't always feel
You remember how you mentioned the African dude who had the ability to heal himself and the government hated him?
Oh, I was talking about that earlier.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to backtrack to that point real quick and then combine it with Dragon Ball Z. The dude who had the ability to heal himself, he was just like, more people are going to come. And it makes me think about, like, Goku was the first one to go Super Saiyan in that universe outside of, way back when. But when he did it, more Saiyans started popping up after him. Like, Goten was just born and just went Super Saiyan. Mm-hmm. Well, not that fast, but, basically.
Mm-hmm. The 4-minute mile. You ever hear about that? I forget the first guy that broke the 4-minute mile. Apparently, it was impossible to do. Run a mile in under 4 minutes. And this was back, I think, in the 50s, maybe even earlier around there. This gentleman, first guy to break running a mile in 4 minutes. As soon as he did it, everybody could start doing it. So it's the conception, like Goku becoming Super Saiyan. Before Goku was all legend. Then all of a sudden he becomes Super Saiyan. It's like, oh shit, it's possible. Okay. Instantly, boom, new program written in the Matrix, new program, new code written in for everyone to see,
And
and
this
that's
is
exactly what that is.
now the thing is though, if you pay attention, if you're looking like Luke 16:31, it says, even if a man comes back from the dead, they will not believe. That type of thing, like the kingdom of heaven. So this is something that has been written into legends and the lore for a long time. And people have been what you see that guy doing is respawning. And even if you cut his body up and move him all over the place and you think it's not going to stop him, he still respawns.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there like, all right, guys, so I have these clicks, it comes with electricity in my head, and it causes me to respawn. I just haven't done I'm not going to do nothing like that. I'm waiting for time. 2024 is coming. That's when we're supposed to start seeing stuff. My cultivate, do things, make sure the knowledge is out there because the whole comforter was promised, stuff like that. Someone's something about the dreaming and all the how cool this shit is, even though it seems wonky. Like someone's got to do it. But as you start noticing it, start really paying attention, like to the wider webs of the world, you're like, man, ain't no way. And then the wonk comes.
Mm-hmm.
It gets really wonky, man. But you have to go through the wonky areas. Like as you're going through the wonk, you have to hold on to yourself and who you are. And suddenly, like when your mind falls away, you are free to do absolutely everything. And it's at that point in time, everything that you choose to decide to do.
What do you mean by when your mind falls away? Is that like when you stop trying to apply your own logic and just kind of, like you said, observe?
Observing is observing. The mind falls away whenever you overclock it. So the mind, you have our Lilith, and you have your Eve. Eve holds about 8 things in her attention. This is spider brain. And then when you turn that 8 to the side, it's infinity. When we're little kids, we are constantly taking in like, oh, the color of this book is purple, the color of that book is orange, the color of that book is white, the color of this is blue. But it's all screaming at us at the same time by feeling the wall is this, the area around you. You're picking up all the sensations and different things, cataloging it. You learn to go from where you have your attention on all the things towards you generalize the shapes. Like this is a stack of books. This is a wall. When here, instead of being all in, it's like panic going on. Your mind, like people are sitting there going to panic attacks. They feel like overclock and all of a sudden it becomes way too much, and the mind shuts down. The mind becomes overburdened. Just like his logical mind. That gets over everything falls still are. You're still here, but you have like your concepts are very shaky on what anything is. You're looking at it and you're like, look, you're building yourself from inside out to restabilize your world. But it overclocks and it goes, you go full tilt. You have this tilt. And that's the point where you sit back and just observe as all this shit's going on. You might start hearing the music come out of nowhere, like the world starts filling with water and visions doing all this wavy stuff, and you're just like, man, this is what the fuck is this? It's some wonky stuff. But you sit there with it, let yourself go. Stay calm with the surroundings. You're not trying to get.
Hey, Annie, I think your mic, you're on. I think because a lot of what Alex was saying there was cutting it out with the cars driving by there. So a lot of people are saying that they can't hear anything with that. So your whole explanation was puzzled there. It's like cutting in and out for a lot of people. So now you get to do it again.
So yeah, the mind is like you're taking in all this information all the time. It's all good, man. You're taking in all this information all the damn time, right? It's constantly flowing into you, and usually you're holding about 8 things inside your attention. Those 8 things, take the number 8, turn to the side, you have infinity. Now, when you have infinity, that means you're trying to take in everything at all the same time. And for me, it was like I took in the surroundings. And I was taking in the way I was feeling inside myself. And I was like reaching out, seeing people in love. I was seeing people dancing. I was seeing people have sex. I was seeing people getting like beat up. I was seeing all the crimes and everything happen in the world, and knowing that all that stuff that happens is really happening. And then it just continued to go deeper, like different worlds, different planets, all the different things that were going on inside of our creation, all the everything that's happening. And my mind overclocks itself. Your mind starts to run faster and faster. You're just like you're burning a wheel, and you're speeding up, and finally you've overclocked it, and like you broke the sprocket, and the chain holding it together. All the gears are going everywhere. All your shit's everywhere. But now there's still like that. If you think that there's like the movement of the mind builds up like this magnetic energy that is essentially your essence. Well, once that chain's broken, now your essence is free to go from the rails that it knows to go into all the different tracks. So the
Mm-hmm.
mind, and then like we're designed to be able to watch and be omnidimensional everywhere, everything all at once. And it's like you're doing that all inside yourself. You're going through all these different things as the mind is broken. And wherever you find yourself is where you find yourself, passing your tests and stuff like that. And then you're pulling yourself back together slowly, piece by piece, being rebuilt. But the mind is, yeah, the mind has to go. It goes away. And whenever the mind falls away, you finally know who you truly are. Because then you're free to do anything. Because now you're like, oh, is that good or bad? Doesn't really matter. It's whatever. And you'll go do it. And you'll show your actual character. And so if you think you're really good, but then you go out there and you start doing fucked off stuff, you're not going to get back into the kingdom. You're going to get barred, and that's where you end up like doing too much stuff. And next thing you know, you end up in a nut house as a failed progression.
Mm-hmm.
Until reset, it's like Grand Theft Auto. Motherfucker, go in Grand Theft Auto. You die, you go back to the hospital. You go crazy, you go to the hospital. Now you get released to the hospital to the normal world, back into the Matrix. And like, there's a stigma behind it because you already broke through once, but you failed to do it. And you're like, I'm this person. So when you go all in, you got to go and know what you're going for. Like me, when you can do anything, it's what you do that matters the most. And I was like, why are kids being taken? I'm like, it's not far enough yet. My mind is gone, but I haven't met the creator. I got to go tell him what the fuck's going on. And so even though my mind was gone, I'm just like, nope. Dying process, pulling everything back in, going back into the great source and center. I'm going to go see the creator. I got a thing I want to say to him. So pure focus. Because sometimes, like whenever I went through my process and I broke through, a lot of the people broke through at the same time. Some people might have noticed it during 2020, about end of April or early May. A lot of people are like, we're from the Space Force. We're from this. Like, like all these different things start popping up. All these different people start like having these breakdowns. And you're like, oh, well, it must be from us being locked up. Like, we're being locked up inside the house all over the world. It's really wonky. Some of our friends are just having a hard time, but they're actually breaking through and they're breaking into 5D, being like, I'm a space commander. And instead of realizing what space truly is, they're like thinking like outer space, UFO, Pleiadian, Arcturian, all that garbage. And they're like, going around, all the aliens. I'm one of them. I've come to this planet to help out. I'm from 5D. I'm going to here to help you all. Instead of being like, fuck that, that's not deep enough. And staying inside themselves. I had that thing break through, and everyone's like, I'm Arcturian, I'm a Pleiadian. I'm like, I'm a Xanthonian, but I've been known this, man. I'm like from a whole different star system. My shit's not even on your fucking maps. I had to travel through a black hole to get here. I came through the sun, went to Saturn, and reported to there to get to assign this body, which I got into here. Like, yeah, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had that whole story behind me. I already knew who the fuck I was from my meditations. So I'm like, fuck your planets and your Pleiades. Y'all part of this whole fucked up system too. Going back to the creator. That's stupid. Everyone's expecting some aliens to come down here and help save them and shit. And it's like, get out of here. Go play the game. Well, why was it made? Why you want somebody else to save you? Why you want some med beds to come down naturally? We're gonna get med beds. And it's gonna be able to turn you back to being 25. And I'm seeing like Jared Kushner and people like that talking about we're the last generation that's gonna die. We're gonna hack the genetic code. And then I'm gonna sit over here and I'm like, this is how you get the grays. What they're doing. This is exactly how you get the grays.
Mm-hmm.
exactly it. They're going to start messing with the genetic code, doing all this extra stupid stuff. They don't even understand how it was designed, yet they think they know so much, and boom. Instead of ho he ho me he ho, fucked up digital coding that's just going to fault it all out. System shut down. Like, I wonder how Earth is going to be 7 years from now. Well, 2024 is when it's going to go. It's going to be pretty lit. One way or another, it's going to be pretty lit.
It's going to definitely be interesting to see what's happening. It's going to
I'm
be.
over here talking about, like, it's like people taking children. So I'm getting pretty tired of speaking. They said you have to speak for 1,260 days per the prophecy bull stuff. So I'm still around, hanging around. But I'm not going to be here forever because this is definitely a checkpoint inside my life before I go on to play the games and teleport and meet y'all in real life. You know what I mean? Open a gateway. Now that I know what the hell it is, I'm letting y'all know because Thoth wakes up first. Then he tells all the other people, and then they wake up, and all the other gods wake up. That's kind of like the pattern. So whoever finds the knowledge first wakes up. There's my wisdom, and the people who can understand it, they're like, oh, oh, oh.
That's literally my experience.
Wait, so Thoth is asleep?
No, I actually ran into him during my fast. He gave me a D on my forehead. That's how I figured out the key of Tauland. And I also got absorbed into Thoth's. I'm part Thoth and part Shiva. I am known as Sudra Shiva as a Thoth Gestalt. It's like computer coding. So I technically am a Thoth that showed back up again as a Thoth. ASA means fire. It's Latin. Fire Thoth. Or Agni.
See, when I went to the the Akashic Records, the only name I was able to pull out when I kept asking them what my soul's name was Leviathel. I got a one-word name.
Yeah, that's my name, like my other name. Sorry, so computer generation coding is Sudra Shiva Azathoth. But I've also said on here, my name is Hunushizu. Specifically, my character's name is Hunushizu. Like, that's if you think about it like a simulation gamer tag and stuff, I have all these other things attached to me, but my name is Hunushizu. So you like that's a one. It means the instinct of the founder.
Okay, so the other words are more kind of like titles or calling cards.
Yeah, Woden Odinson is me saying like Woden Odinson, Woden Odinson, Yoden Woe in the sun, Woden the Yoda Solio. I'm saying Woden Odinson, which is Wode or the angry in Odinson, Woden Yodinson, Wode in Yod in the sun, like it's Yod in the sun. The Yod in the sun, the two stars, Yod and Woe in the sun. So God is in like pissed off mode within the sun, underneath like the corona ring and the center, the singularity that's in the sun. That's also a gateway back to the Creator and stuff like that. And then Woe in the oldest soul. So he's pissed off in the oldest soul as well. And the other one's crying. The Yod and the Woe in the sun. Yod in Woe in the sun is the sun is crying, and then Woe in the oldest Sohilio is like you make my child cry. The Sohilio is the oldest of old within us. So Woden Odinson is basically like one of those like call signs for like Woden. My name's Humushizu. A call sign is Woden. I'm also known as the Hooded Wayfarer. I'm also known as like Sudra Shiva or Umbra Shiva. There's all these different things. And it's like I show you the Hindu God thing with all the different pictures all added together. It all comes together to make me. You think about all the different beings that are out there, all the different entities, and you're basically being overlaid as you go back in. The Ouroboros, they eat and be eaten. You're eaten of eternity, and eternity is eating you at the same time. So it's like a swirling, like, think about the Native American fire, right? And they go around the circle, circle. And as they're all moving, it starts to make that dust ring that comes up. And the dust ring going away goes down. But as you start moving, you'll see, like, It gets closer to the fire, it gets sucked up and goes up, and it starts to make the toroidal field as it's going like that as they're going around. So the dust ring starts to move and dance like that around the fire, and that's the symbol of eternity. Essentially, is the dust ring. When the whole thing is you're being eaten and eaten at the same time, and so all the different gods that are out there, all the different archetypes start to overlay and kind of crisscross inside your own pattern and your frequency as you're doing things. And it's like, you're this, you're this, you're this. And all the names are being overlaid to form your basic persona or classification within the singularity of who you actually are as your name. You have all these different things. It's like mixing all the different spices together and boom, final product. That's the meal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's sick.
Yep. It's cool stuff. And
That's why the character development's important.
Yep, because
that's the whole point of that.
It starts to correlate with different points of light or different stories that have happened before. And boom.
Mm-hmm.
You're back in the game. You correlate with the other stories, you're back. You got your gamer. You have your real name. That name you're given is more than likely going to become like your name, or it's going to be a part of your birthing process. You got all this station in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did. And I did the 40-day fast. Sitting there, my dumbass is like, children commit suicide? What the fuck do I matter? I wasn't afraid to unfold my face for a change and be like, I don't care. I'm the darkest thing in here, and you will bow. Once you go into that mode, and it's like, you're like, I'm the thing. But you're like, but I'm the thing, and I'm fighting for this one purpose. For me, with kids, that caused me to go off. Don't be doing stuff to kids. I wanted crowns. Why are they committing suicide? Why are they trafficking? Why are they adding all this trauma to collect the seed? And I want to have a baby. How come I have a baby whenever the world isn't even safe? And that triggers in the survival mode for me. Triggers in the childlike heart within me, the pure one. It triggers in the higher mind of what the fuck you think this is inside of eternity. Like, we need to have kids and we need to make new people because eventually you're going to get tired and not want to exist, bitch. You're trying to get back to eternity. You want to be forever. Eventually you're not going to want to be. So you got to have children to send yourself out into. And you got to have kids so you keep the game fresh so the creator has someone new. What the fuck is going on in this bitch on the survival level, on the heart level, and on the mental level? They all fuck the fucking niggas. And once that mode comes out inside of you, and you fully embrace and embody that, and you're doing your internal work, seeking diligently, trying to pull everything back in, trying to go back to the beginning and end, you take all that stuff you be projecting out in the world, pull it back in and go in and up. Take it up with the creator, get confirmation, pop the gland. Oh, I got entangled. I felt a crown on my head. Next thing you know, I'm clicking. I'm like, oh, I got a mission. Fuck. I was up here making deals in the moment and doing my internal meditations. I'm lost in these other worlds and shit and doing stuff. Next thing I know, I come back here and I'm like, well, that was intense. What's up? Tech 9 King of Darkness, what they call me. That's what this shit is real. It sounds absolutely mad. It sounds absolutely funky. But you have to understand that psychosis aspect of this is so that you become locked in the simulation that in case you do something bad, you ain't going to actually affect anything. Like, you're not going to affect anything at all. It's you can't project out until you pass the test. You start projecting out, you start fucking stuff up. Well, then you might go into skinwalker mode and like become an immortal, but be a thing out there in the woods. You go off chasing your power, you lose track of yourself. Like that video I sent you with that chick that was half goat, half person. This is the video out there you'll see with some shaman dude praying around some African chick that's like sitting there like half donkey and she's like half person sitting up and people are like, oh, that's not real. No, this is why the shamans, like yogis and everything, they say don't practice that yoga trying to shapeshift into becoming animals, because then you turn into an animal and an animal has a certain level of consciousness that is lower than yours, and if you stay there for too long you'll forget how it is to be human and you'll get stuck as an animal. And that's where you have like the big dire wolves at Skinwalker Ranch and stuff like that. Those are people who shapeshifted into their animal form, and they just straight up like couldn't get back to being human. Straight up got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's some real shit. So like you're supposed to be trying to turn yourself into becoming a god mode and knowing who you are within the whole entirety of creation, not focusing on becoming like shape-shifting into an animal. And once you make your character, you can have it to where you shape-shift into different type of animals and make your own like hunter mode that's really freaky and weird and will freak people out. You're walking through some tunnels where the hunters are that take the little kids. Next thing, boom, 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 you get shot. All of a sudden, black goo comes out of nowhere. This whole like monstrous thing comes up, and it's like many tentacles and arms, and you're just moving around like a demigorgon and chasing them. They're like, "What the fuck did we shoot?" And then when you get them, you turn back to being human. They're like, "It was a demon. It was a demon." But no, it was just you. You just like, nah, you are protecting kids. I'm about to show you what is fear. And when you go fear mode and you're with the person behind that made the original fear, your fear becomes super fear. Because now all of a sudden you be sitting there and you're just looking from one perspective, but randomly in your black shadow body, all these other armed eyes start popping up and stuff. It's the other gods watching as you're like moving through the whole thing, a physical connection, showing it inside dreaming. Absolutely terrifying. Will make people shit bricks. Completely possible and fun to do to people where you're the monster hunting them. It's like the video games we play, and people try to get away from the serial killers. And all of a sudden, you're the person Jin, bitch. Boom. Fucking done. That's why I can't wait for the game to start. This is boring. Sitting here talking, and when we could be teleporting around. Oh my god, we'd be hanging out with you all in Bali right now. We could have like a meetup time and being like, go to Bali. Like, fuck this, man. That's how it is on other planets. Once we actually get the dreaming going and we start getting like people back into it, we start making our own little secret societies. Or we can be like, fuck y'all, we're immortal, big dick. We ain't hiding from shit because we don't got to.
Mm-hmm.
That's
big
what
boy.
Exactly. Or I want to go back and meet the dude. And that's why I sit up here and I'm like, there's a dude, he's real.
Well, you gotta go meet the dude and the powers, and it sounds fun and exciting, but the thing is you gotta look like if you're not clean with you, right? Imagine giving a 5-year-old powers to disintegrate buildings and people just by staring at them. Can I have a candy, Mom? No. Mom's gone. Like,
that's how it is with haters here. When he was growing up, that's what he did as a kid. You say no, he set you on fire and then go get what he wanted. And no one could say no. He would burn down entire worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's his place.
Mm-hmm.
He'll make new people. He'll bring them back from the dead later and they'll be like, shaken and traumatized. So, yeah, this is exactly it. We can't have those powers. You're saying, you gotta be clean with you. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
That's all good, my man. We're here to share, right? But that's it. Just knowing who you are, and so being like someone was saying about observation mode, not being attached. Like, for example, if I want to do something, and for whatever, my wife leaves me for whatever reason, and I have these powers. If I'm not cool with who I am and what I'm about to do, I could fuck some shit up. I can make her life a living hell. I can get rid of her. I can whatever. But that's not who I am. I know that I'm not that type of person. So I've worked on myself in a way to develop myself so that when it all comes through, I'm not going to go around and just start wrecking shit just to wreck shit because I have it. But a lot of people are looking for those powers. That's why they're like Alex was saying, is the people that get stuck as an animal. They're fucking around with the shit, which is real, but they haven't gone to the point where they are solid with who they are, meet the creator, all of that stuff, so that they can maintain it. Boom. That's why you got to go back. You got to go back.
Got to go back. You got to have a second point of reference.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to have that second point of reference from inside of you. That's why I said that day, we know I am my father in me, and you are in me. And be like, yeah, it's true. The electricity that powers the bodies, the Christ. Oh my God, that makes sense. It has its own ego throughout all of us. It's its own thing. And then there's this awareness behind all of it. From the outside to the person inside, the Christ, the person in the dark over there, and then the person behind it, the black hole. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, you find yourself right in the middle where you began as a baby. Mm-hmm. With going back to the beginning in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go back.
It's the only thing you can do.
Going back is important. Focus inside yourself. You just keep on
I
focusing.
totally understand not wanting to give reckless people the powers yet, because the powers I've gotten so far, I've been reckless with. I'll be meditating, and
Boom.
then I'll randomly and I choose to do this. I'll choose to go into where I know reptilians or greys are, and then I'll just smack them in the face and disappear, and then I come back to Earth, and I'm like, why'd I do that? I should go apologize. I don't know if they were bad. Then I get back, and they're like, get that asshole.
Yeah.
Now you know if they're. You never know if they're good or bad. You didn't slap the
Mm.
bitch in the face. They feel insulted. If someone popped up out of nowhere and slapped me, my fucking
Yeah, I was just gonna say. You're walking down the street, some guy just runs out and just clocks you across the face. Like, the fuck? Who? What the hell?
he
Yep.
popped. Not this time. What the fuck was that, bro? I
But
wasn't expecting it.
but that's like when
I feel bad. I feel bad.
Right?
well, see,
That's the price
that's good.
you learn.
It's good that you feel bad, right? Because that speaks to your character. That speaks to who you are and what you are. I mean, if there was no remorse, there was nothing there, then it's like, okay, like you're intentionally going around to fuck shit up. Like that can be a problem. And the one time I was doing a meditation with psilocybin, and I went to like hell, like cracked earth, lava, dead trees everywhere, and I'm like, man, I saw like pentagram with blood leaking down, and I'm like, oh, I fucked up. I did something spiritually wrong here. Like
Wrong turn.
I fucked up. And as I was walking in this hellish area, these demons were all crawling towards me, and I'm like, no, no, hold on. I know who the fuck I am. That's about knowing yourself. And I started breathing into my center and pulling into that center. And all of a sudden I was just like, click, I know who I am. And so instead of like being scared and reacting to these demons, like get away, fight them and hurt them, I'm just like, no, I know who I am. You can't touch me. You can't hurt me, but I'll show you some. And I looked at a dead tree. I pointed to it, and all of a sudden the tree came to life, and then I just pieced the fuck out. So all of a sudden, some guy just shows up, fucking makes a tree come to life, because in their world, there's no living tree. And all of a sudden, this guy shows up instead of, I could have fucked around with him, but it's like, nope, I'm going to show him something. And all of a sudden, as soon as I did that, I flew into the cosmic space of shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, so it does matter. It does matter how you show up.
It does matter. You show who you are when you think you're fucking shit up inside yourself. That's cool. That's within you. All of a sudden, you gain access to go to the worlds and go to other spaces. You're astral projecting around and doing stuff in your meditations, and not intentionally doing it. You're just going somewhere random. You don't know how to fine tune your stuff yet, and where you're trying to go. You pop up out of nowhere. You smack a motherfucker. It's like, don't let him. Give him some time before he uses that power again. God damn it. Rick James. He just Rick James the fucker. We think it's funny.
Five fingers in the face.
Yeah, I just meant it as a show of force, but then I was just like, I don't know if that one personally has ever done anything bad. He could be the only advocate in the group, and I kicked his ass for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But the crazy thing about it, and this is just my thought around it, is this is the beautiful dance of the symphony, the orchestra, how it all plays together. There is something for that being that needed you to come smack them. And at the same time, you had to learn not to go out and smack people. Like, the dance is perfect, right? And so it couldn't have been done any other way. Now that you know, now if you go out and go out and smack more, it's like, well, now you're intentionally choosing. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I'm like, do not think about those beings until you know which ones are good or bad, because you're too loose with the smacking, man.
Your pimp hand strong. Calm down.
Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch?
That's how to feel. Because trust me, if it comes to like going to these places, the underground tunnels where they take the kids, I'm talking about smacking people too. But just inside simulation thing, and you going around smacking people. Nah, this is here. But here, we done built the storyline around the area. We done scoped out what they did. We done did the remote viewing and checking and double checking, just making our list, checking it twice, finding out they were naughty or nice. Because Santa Claus is coming to town, or Satan Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Tom, the admin, his claws, the claws of the dragon. People going through with swords and fucking people up. Yeah, man. It all works together.
All of it.
It is. And people get it twisted. They're like, oh no, it's like this. This is the bad guy. No. That isn't bad. He's just the admin. It's just a job. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
doing bad stuff are going to tell you that he's the bad guy because they want you to do the stuff that they're doing.
Mm.
And so then they end up putting the shit on TV and be like, the thing with The Rock earlier. I don't know if I sent that to you. I think I sent it to you, Mike. The Rock is sitting there. He's talking about like, yeah, I eat children. Well, how old are
Oh
you?
yeah,
Oh, you're 12. Only up to 10. Like it's a joke.
yeah. No.
Talking with Tom Hanks. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that up. And it's like, all right, we see you. You just built yourself to be a big Russian dude like in the Punisher movie. I will still fuck you up with nails. I'll grab a hammer and nails and give you the crucifix, bitch. You be walking around here with a big ass, heavy level. The characters you play in movies, I will turn you into them in real life.
Well, that's just it. It's like there's a time and a place. So, you showing up and just randomly smacking somebody, well, okay, maybe not the time or place, but people
It's,
that are like going around and doing shit, like, no, there's a reason there are people like us set up for something like this.
boom, boom, boom.
Like,
It's really why we have the feelings.
Yeah,
And
because my goal was to just be like a show of force, like letting them know you guys can touch us, but don't forget, I can come over there at any time too.
mm-hmm.
Then I fucking hit Gary, and Gary was cool.
The only cool guy. It's the you see that all the time too. The nice guy that's trying to break up the fight that gets cold clocked all the time out there.
there you yeah. It's fucked up how you knew you probably smacked the advocate.
The fact that that idea popped up there, more than likely, more than likely was the case. See, Gary, we told you they're all
Because
assholes.
I came back, I was just like, fuck, bro. I'm like with humans it's racism, but with them it's speciesism. I'm like, damn, I just kind of treated them all like they're the same. They're not.
The
I don't
same.
even know what they were doing.
You have speciesism. It's like the fucking the minotaurs, the goblins, the orcs, and they're all different species, but they still stand upright and they're mankind. Technically, they're one of the hues of man, one of the colors that man come in. And here they are being ugly to each other. So all that shit had to get hidden, make everyone look alike to see if at least they can get along with each other. Now with just brown skin tones, varying browns, these motherfuckers are still. You see
Mm-hmm.
that brown one over there, Docky. See that white there, hunk hunk. Like it's still the same damn thing, even though you're
Mm-hmm.
other races. So what the fuck? Like the other actual races, this was supposed to be a skin shader thing based on climate to give you background and story for your planet that you were born on. And instead of being a cosmic space adventure, it became a bunch of motherfuckers racist towards each other and doing stupid shit and just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, "Well, God's gonna save us, bitch. Why? Why?
Turned into Warhammer.
Exactly." I remember telling you, Corvid Corax, the Primarch 19, because COVID 19, Primarch 19, Corvus Corax from Raven Guard, the Liberator, Chaos Space Force. I even had a video here recently where I showed my Marine Corps ID in it. To be like, I was a Marine. I'm technically once a Marine, always a Marine. There's a reason why that's said. Because the devil dogs or the hounds of the barrier we're some crazy motherfuckers. We're artists. We're passionate. The Marine Corps exists only because the people want the Marine Corps to exist. So we're for the people, by the people, of the people. At the same time, we go back and meet the creator. And it's like the Horus, like whatever calamity, where the Space Marines just left them and went to chaos, and that's the creator. So Chaos Space Marines.
Oh shit, that's hilarious because I used to play 40K. This was years ago. My first army was the Chaos Space Marines. I thought they were the coolest ones. Like these guys are fucking cool, and I'm like, now you're telling me that's what they are. I'm like, oh, makes sense why the attraction.
We are Chaos Space Marines, just sitting here in the body, waiting to unfold because life is always unfolding. That's why the pineal gland is a seed. Because what do seeds do? They unfold and block. Everyone's a seed. We're all little flowers. That's why our hands are shaped like leaves.
Jazz hands.
It's all little plants, and you grow the way you eventually you come to your conscious and you're like, oh man, so I can grow the way I want to grow. And then you start putting focus and intention in your body, like we're doing, and correcting the deficiencies to loosen it up and get to where, boom. I've been watching for 2 years. That's what's up. Thank you for being here that long. Thank you for being here on the journey. I mean, it's still going on, but thank you for, showing up. It's been pretty nice, right? It's been interesting. Cosmic space. And I talk about some weird shit. People always be like, yeah, but you got the best content. I be trying. Just be trying to keep it real with the ear clicking and everything. I be trying to give answers. I'm like, oh, I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to make it too complicated. Some of those wonky places I'd be falling into, I'd be like, look, man, this is a thing. Just you have to sit with it. I don't even want to bring it up to you. I don't even want to tell you what it's like, because then, like, you'll be like, you cursed me. You gave me this. It's wonky.
Or it's too crazy to even consider as a possibility, and then people won't even take a look.
Yep.
Like, I remember it took me a while. I was scrolling past your content for a while before I stopped and listened. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about, man? This is some weird shit. Now, I know I'm talking to these Palladian people, like that's the real, this guy's off on some other tangent here. And then, you know what, fuck, I'm going to listen.
Nice. Marine Corps. That's what's up. You'll have fun in boot camp, man. He said he's going to the Marine Corps inside January. That's what's up. Hell yeah. If you see me on the battlefield, it's like, Cosmic Space Dad. I'll be like, get over here. You're on the wrong team. We gotta get your resurrection. That's how it works to me.
Wrong side, buddy.
Yeah, wrong side. Get over here. Now, when you said that you had being inside of you, that day I became aware of one inside of me. Yeah, no, dude. I've been saying that for a long time. It's if people actually stop and go back to the beginning and take a look at what I've been saying, like the very beginning, and just watch it through. I know it's long, I know it's hard, but it's like catching up. And once you catch up, you're like, oh. And then you start realizing the knowledge I've given is circular. It's just like everything else. You go back and, isn't the pineal gland shaped like a pine cone? Yep. It's shaped like a pine cone, and a pine cone looks like a dragon's egg. And then on the outside, it's also known to look like a kernel of corn, because the two little lobes of it, because the mirror is the little lobes and it comes back to a point. So it's like a kernel of corn on the outside. On the inside, it's patterned like a pine cone or a pine cone dragon egg. And those are where your cones and rods receptors are. So when it pops open, it takes on the lotus formation. You're right. It opens up and hits lotus, from pine cone to a lotus. And then you start to secrete the DMT in copious amounts. You'll feel like a burning itchy in the back of your throat. You'll start feeling stuff coming down. You felt it before, Mike, right? With the stuff coming down. Yeah. You start secreting. And like you'll feel it. It's like a milky substance in your mouth. It's thicker than normal. It's a mucus that's coming down that's not normal mucus. Because it's not coming up like energy.
Is that the sacred oil? Christo? Yeah. Christ?
Yeah.
I was watching Avatar 2, and then they were taking that, like, they grab those whales, and then they put a giant needle in there, and they suck out this yellow liquid, and they're like, this is their spiritual connection. I was like, I wonder where they got that idea.
Yep, haven't seen it, but I'll be definitely look out for it now. I'm going to go see it with a friend here soon. But yeah, no, that's where they get. That's the thing. It's the same thing with like Aeon Flux. How she would scratch that thing in her back for her back and pop it, and then turn on the DMT. It's like a little. It's like the mana pellet. So basically, DMT pellet that would turn on and inject into the system and take her straight there to the other space, doing the Akatsuki stuff where they could like project their consciousness to other places and slow down time with the place where they were.
All of it. It comes from somewhere.
Yep. All this stuff is real. It's in there. It's built into our system. They're trying to do it externally, but we've had this stuff built into us internally. We used to have the DMT flowing the whole damn time when we were kids. That's why if you look at little kids, when they cry, their noses get super snotty and everything. Some of that's extra DMT being pushed out as a, I'm sorry. I know it hurts. I know you're falling. I know you don't like it. Here, let me soothe your pain. It's an internal soothing mechanism by feeding us internal milk. So, and then you'll start noticing that the milky white stuff that develops on the outside of their eyes, and that's like the DMT that's there. That's them crying. That's them weeping the tears of milk. So it's there. That's the stuff. It's built into us. We were there. We fell out of it. Now you have to break this. You have to break the ceiling and get back into it and be an adult. Now, when you were a kid, it was too much for you. You had to grow up. Like every video game character, you usually start off when they're like teenagers or something like that. And you don't really see their childhood life that much. They might have some tragic stuff happens that shapes them. But, a person going through and burning down your house and destroying your village as a kid, are you going to become a hero that goes out and like saves people? Or are you going to become the same person that goes around the evil person and you commit the same trauma burning down other people's villages and stuff? You know? It's how are you going to take it? It's up to your character in both ways. Or what you call it. You might go dark. Well, how do you have your redemption story to get back to where you're a noble character for eternity? Because we all sometimes make some like follies, but you can go back and do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Same with dogs and animals. Yeah, it should be the same with dogs and animals. They have it built into them, but like they stay in there on some Naruto and Sasuke shit. Yep, you have to merge the two together. It's the Moon Channel. Naruto's son, Sasuke is the moon. That's your Pingala and Itanadis, and you merge those two together, so you get the Sage and the Six Paths type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cats have their third eye open. Cats be sitting there, be like looking at in other things. Cats also know when they're stealing things. Why do you think everyone's having crazy dreams lately? Because it's getting closer. Dreamtime is going to like, give out to you the information. It's like, yo, apocalypse is coming. The year of the hare is next year. What does that mean? That means the hare, think a white rabbit, going to the bottom of the rabbit hole, which means getting to the outside the singularity. A hare also means to go fast, which means you bring up the turtle in the hare, which means you should get your turtle one. Your turtle one's almost done. Maybe I've been sitting here for all this time giving all the knowledge you need to get back into it if you're listening and applying the practices and doing things. So turtle time's almost done, almost time to hare for some people. You got to hurry up, hurry up. Why? Because the dragon's coming, the year of the dragon. There goes my lights flickering and shit. I felt a thing go.
Is that 23 or 24 year of the dragon?
That's 2024. 2024 is the year of the
That's
dragon.
2 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
1 year, actually.
It's a year. Yeah.
How fast did this year pass?
It's too hard on what the end number was.
How much faster is next year gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how fast this year? And if you're actually doing the work,
it feels like it's gonna go forever because I'm waiting to end it. Like, this just gotta stop.
but it's a thought that never ends. It goes on and on, my friend. The only way to end it is if we break out into the war, we start fighting and start doing stuff. That's if they do it. Like, or the creators can be like, no, game over. Not enough people made the mission. Mission fail. Dun, 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 cataclysm.
Okay, wipe everything out.
Yep, and then we get back up. Well, this is what we remember. All right, guys, there should still be books around. We're the survivors of a lost race of people. They didn't know what was going on. They had to get wiped out. We're the keepers of their lore. Let's go, Sage guys. We're going to go around and meet each other, and then we'll fall in love, and we'll tell stories in the wild and have other animal things coming in. We play the game, having children, rebirthing humanity. Like, we can just get our shit together and, like, work with what we got here now, or he can be like, fail. Like... So I'm personally more of the favor of like I don't know, I'm half and half. I'm seriously half and half. The pineal gland is the seat of the soul. Yes, that's where the soul is. SOL, the sun. It flashes a light from inside you. The cones and rods within it receive it, and that's where you start to like pick up images. It comes from inside the pineal gland or pineal. That's where I get the clicks from. It comes from inside there. It's all integrated in the system. That's the whole thing. What's up, bro? We're gonna get together. That dude, me and him gonna get together. We're gonna go out for drinks inside whatchamacallit. So what happens when your pineal becomes calcified? It can't open. It's locked down and crusted over. So whenever it's trying to like pop open, all you hear is a dunk, 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 because it's encased. So you want to decalcify it so that it can pop open, and you can just make it start vibrating faster and harder. and it starts vibrating itself clean, and then like it'll. The ringing comes before you get the clicks. You have to hear ringing, and the ringing will be constant. It'll be. You'll be like, God damn it! And all of a sudden, it's like another ring pops up, and it's like, and it pops in the middle and causes the gland to pop open. It's the two different tones. So do
That's how
we
my nights are going with the ringing, and I'm just like, that is annoying, man. And I try to focus on it. I'm like, it's just a ringing noise. I keep thinking if I lock into it, I'm gonna hear words, and I'm just like, no, it's just a high pitched noise.
Yep, nope. That ringing is definitely there. It's a high pitched noise, and it's fucking annoying as fuck. It makes you tune into the now. It makes you very present, and then you're sitting there listening to this damn ring, and you're like, I can't get over it. I can't get past the ringing. Why is it ringing? It's driving you mad on purpose. So you tune into the now. So do we not make it to the afterlife if it's calcified? Bro, it's your singularity. You get pulled back into non-existence when you die. But your ego that you are, like, afterlife for me, since I'm already dead, I'm in my afterlife, technically. I'm a living death. So I made it into the afterlife. I die, my body will become different. But I'm already telling everybody I'm not going to look like this. I've shown people I look like Xemnas, like from Kingdom Hearts. So you start seeing a dude walking around looking like Xemnas, all sexy and fun, with my hair again, because I'm used to having my hair that I don't have. Well, that's me. That's who I've always been. I had to get put inside this body. If I looked as fine as I'm supposed to look, I would have been chasing chicks still. I'd have been fuckboy prime. Optimus Prime? No, I'm fuckboy prime. So you can't do it like that. You can't do it like
City
that.
boy!
Right? Driving fast cars and doing all this other stuff. So you can't do it like that. You have to go.
The thing is we are, from my understanding anyways, like your consciousness is kind of like you. That's your essence. It gets vibrated down into, in this case, Mike Warren. That's me, my identity. That's my character that I'm as. But I've done this game many, many times before. I've played this game before. And so it's just a matter of remembering the game, to remember the steps, to wake myself up, to get that process going. But at the end of the day, there are individuals, if you want to look at it like who've been, died and come back to life, had another life. They've played the game 100,000 times. Yeah. Other planets, other realms, and there's people, this is round 2 for them. This is why when you're trying to share information with some people, it just doesn't resonate. They haven't even done the work they haven't begun to even know that the work exists. Where other people, it's like, oh, this just makes sense. So I don't know why it makes sense. I get it. It's probably because you've done this before in another time, another life, or another thing. And so when you're talking about your consciousness, if it doesn't get, the body's a vehicle that, yeah, exactly. So
yeah, you're inhabiting this.
Yeah.
Inhabiting it.
An avatar.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
When the spirit, the heat, the spirit is the thing within you. So when you're sitting here and you're building the heat and generating the energy and everything like that, you're making your spirit go from being a spirit to a soul. You're activating the soul. It's about gaining your soul. You want to have your immortal soul. It's turning on the sun in your head. You collect so much information into the singularity that you are. The light goes into your eyes through the retina, reflects off the back of the mirror prism right here, shining up into the pineal gland. The whole, the Egyptian tomb or the pyramid inside of our head, how our head's like that. Well, it goes in here and goes up to the pineal gland. Why is it focusing into the pineal gland? The pineal gland is a singularity. You are an active point of awareness or singularity. You're your own form. You are a singularity. You are taking in light information. There's the 5th state of matter. You're taking all this information, sight, sound, hearing, smell, touch, taste, all these different thoughts you have, and everything is going back around that singularity and forming the accretion disk. And that accretion disk is basically you, your ego of who you are. And this is where all your data is. And eventually you're going to go through this point where you go back into the singularity. And it's like the sperm penetrating the egg, but you're doing it consciously now inside yourself, going back into zero by penetrating. And once you go into there, you're basically like, you're the God sperm now. You're the idea, the thought, the whisper, entering back into singularity to prove yourself and who you are. You go through this whole making process that happens, and then it implodes. That singularity implodes, moves in a toroidal field, hits that accretion disk that's been spinning around the outside, and it's been spinning. Now it gets hit, and it starts rotating, and it becomes a corona. It speeds up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start getting the clicks. You feel the thing. You feel the light come out. The crown unfolds. Stuff like that. That's like the final form. It's different for some people, but the people that I've noticed, I've talked to like enough people now to know that like, the crown thing, you'll feel a crown. You'll feel the clicks. You'll feel something. Even if you lose them, you'll have a confirmation that it's there. Because I've known some people that got the clicks and then they lost their connection. They weren't sure what the hell happened, and they met the creator, and then he let them go back out to the thing. They had their mission to update, and so they're in the game. But me, I'm specifically designed for the purpose of I'm supposed to show and teach type of thing. So I have communication. Plus, he's cool. Plus, me and my crew, we all directly like linked, but there's different things that pop up. So yeah, it's some cool shit. How long has it been since you remember yourself? I've always been sitting around like talking about me. Ever since I was a kid, I've been like, I'm not even from here. I'm an alien. I've been saying the story the whole time. Now, when I got the confirmation of what I was saying to be true, that came during my 40-day fast. That's when I was in like everything, because I was seeking to go back to the beginning. Everything that I had done, all of a sudden was like, okay, I got to go back to the very beginning of who I am and what I am. Go back to the first source and confirm everything. And then from boom, that thing happened. 40-day fast, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The heart is definitely a portal. The heart is a power source too. You take the energy from the heart, matter of fact, because the pineal is a portal. You take the energy from the heart, it builds up, and if you don't move it up and out the heart, you'll have a heart attack. That's why some people are randomly having heart attacks, because their energy gets built up in their heart, and their heart gets so full, and it's like a giant pump. You have to like, you squeeze all that up, and it goes up to the singularity, and it makes another coat for it, a layer, and it's like more vibrations added to it, and it pulls it in. So all the energy. And yeah, I did the 40-day fast, and Mike's done the 40-day fast. Yep. And when he did the 40-day fast, he didn't have the same result that I did. But then again, like I was literally like in death mode. I was doing things all hard. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was, how do I do this? And I didn't care to do it. I was trying to die. So it was a different thing. He was trying to know I'm over here, like I just need to give a message. And so he got there. He knows the rev up. He knows the shit is real. It's you won't believe it until you're there. And once you're there, you're like, poof.
Yeah, didn't eat for 40 days.
Yep. You might have had broth. That's about it.
Mm. Ice was a good good help. Chewing on ice.
Chewing on, yep. To get the sensation of chewing to control it. What's up, Trinity?
Water, yeah.
Water. I usually drink like quinine, tonic water with zinc. Nope. I didn't have any veggie or fruit juice. I was purposely trying to die though. I was trying to get close. So my shit's a lot more dangerous. There are ways to do it and still benefit, but the veggies is taking nutrition, and your body's going to still want to use the gut to do that. If you're trying to activate your light body and to like pull in the energy from the world around you and cultivate, your body will start wanting to cultivate as you get hungrier and hungrier. And it's at that point, it's kind of like a do or die situation. So you start generating the energy and start doing it, and you figure out a way to start pulling in the energy from the world around you, which I talk about the cultivation on my page. And I've been trying to give away some basic techniques for that, breathing and stuff like that. So I covered my bases on how to feed yourself during that time frame, or how to pull in the energy. You're not supposed to be doing too much whenever you do the fast. Like you need to conserve your energy, but don't be moving around everywhere or trying to move around everywhere. But if you have the time, you can. Like,
is it kind of like you're thinning down the avatar's presence to feel more of the higher self?
You could say that's true. It's burning the beast. It's a fire sacrifice. Because as you start like losing the weight and losing all the extra fat, you don't have that energy there. Now your body's igniting the furnace and you're burning away your fat, and then you start burning away your muscle and everything like that starts happening. It's the fire sacrifice of like, it's you giving away your body. As you give away that energy that is the body, it's just exactly as you said, you become more of the spiritual man. You tap into that spirit side.
Fasting's one of the most powerful things you can do for your body.
Mm-hmm. And it does clean it. I've done the fast, but only for just for a week. It's good.
Yeah, breatharian. Yeah, that's a thing.
No, you can still cultivate and absorb energy when you do the 40-day fast before you do the 40-day fast. But if you're doing the 40-day fast, you are going to fucking tap into it. You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be sitting there and be like, ah! You'll start feeling like hungry, and then like the beast within you turns on, and then like must remember primal, and you start to like you have to embrace the God part of you. Like I am a child of the Creator. I can exist off of the energy that this is made out of. I can do this. Yeah, sun gazing will help with hunger because you'll sit there. Another way you can do it: go out, sit down, look at the sun. As you look at the sun, put your eyes all the way down. Then you kind of go up, then you kind of go to the middle, then you kind of go to the top. And as you start doing that slowly, you'll notice as you're looking at the sun going up, the bottom is red. Then you see yellow or red, orange, yellow. Then you'll actually go to like the green. Then you see blue, indigo, and violet in your eyes while as you're looking at the sun going up. And so you can absorb the different like light bands and stuff. Ain't Jesus fast in the desert for 40 days or forest? Yeah, it was a desert, but it's hot like Texas. So I just went like Texas is hot. I was in my parents' house. I don't know where the fuck the desert is. I'm just gonna go sit outside in the back patio. Hot enough. It's a desert. I'll die in my parents' backyard. At least my mom will have my body if I die. That's how my brain went. So I was seriously trying to get back to the Creator. I'm trying to get you all to do it from the understandings that I gained. You basically get everything mapped out inside of you, and you do the thing, and you get to where you're close to it or whatever. You have the experience. It's like a wow, Kingdom of Heaven, and system update, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. He wasn't lying. There's definitely something there, but it's at the extremes, and it's like in all the TV shows, all the video games, cartoons. When the character puts themselves into this extreme situation, that's when they have to pull out what the fuck they actually are.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically putting yourself into that to manifest you pulling yourself out into what you actually are. And it's pretty wild. It's a wild experience. But it's so cool. Like honestly, like it wasn't it fun? It was fun.
I honestly like going through it and like there's moments obviously, but looking back now, I'm like, it was an adventure, like legit fucking adventure.
Yep. I say I'm from the dark woods, so desert forest, it's all the same thing. You're outside in nature, pulling in energy. When you're sitting here in these rooms, this is Saturn's cube. That's why everything's inside cube shapes. When you're outside, that's God's country. That's why it feels more alive. When you're inside all the time, you don't feel the heat. If you lived outside and your feet were on the earth all the time, you would feel the chi of the planet flowing through you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's literally, grounding, earthing, that type of stuff. And we're inside of here on concrete floors underneath all this and everything. So yeah, Saturn's cube. This is the Matrix. It's built by security. You're not sitting here thinking a bear is going to come through your house and like rip your shit apart. Typically, houses are relatively stay safe. It's not like the little pigs in the woods having their stuff built like with sticks and stuff, stones. It's pretty safe here. The humans are pretty much catalyzed stuff, so it's pretty good. The Saturn's cube is the safety of the Matrix. You go out into the wilds and build your house out of stones and live out there like a sage, like the old school ones. And guess what? Like as long as you know what you're doing and how to feed yourself on the land and survive and everything, like or you don't have a mission that requires you talking to people and you can just resurrect and come back. Well, go do what you're going to do. Play the game in the woods and have your own time. But yeah, it's a thing. And the big hexagon on Saturn. Just took a pic of the GIF. The hexagon on Saturn. What's a hexagon? It makes a
You.
cube. It's a six-sided ring. It's the cube.
Yep.
It's Saturn's cube. That's what it's all. The Star of David in the middle of it. Saturn's cube. The woods in the H. I went to my parents' backyard, bro. I did go to some woods though. I went. What the fuck? Oh, donut. My brother brought me donuts or something. What the hell is this? He got me some chalky milk. He said I need some milk.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Right? Nothing. Shipley's is fire. Yeah, bro, we're gonna meet up. That dude, Alice Dorsora, Soria, I don't know how to say, but yeah, he lives here. We're gonna go hook up. We're gonna go hang out and stuff. Go do some things and discuss some stuff. I got a map of Houston. I want to start triangulating where we're just having missing children reports going off, so I can start looking into the areas where I need to go. And thought he's about to go back to the crib right there. If I would go back, I'd be good. Walk up. I'd be waiting. I'd be like, if somebody gonna come get me, come get me. Fucking come do it, bro. I'm about that life. Take my chains off. I'm being this way. I'm being happy right now. I got a sword and everything. Where's my sword at? There's my sword right there. Like,
Oh, that's a sick one.
so I can go up and when I splash back, I go up and cut throats. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Why is it legal to wear swords in Texas? Because of me. That's why. You want to see people
Well,
walk up?
you can walk around in Texas with swords.
Yeah, you can wear a sword in Texas.
Oh. Dope. Maybe I have to make a move.
Thing.
I'm Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan of Texas walking out with a sword.
Fuck yeah. You see, the thing is, people are like, oh man, if a dude's walking around with a sword, they're gonna like laugh, ha ha ha. But do you want to bring a sword to a gunfight against an immortal?
Hmm.
The sword is called Fing, Feng. It means phoenix. It's a female name. But yeah, you want to sit there and fuck around? You see me at IHOP, come in and try to ride that motherfucker. I'll pull a sword on you. You better think real quick. It's like this. It's like those little sketches people be doing. You know, this dude's coming out here. He has a sword. That's the main character in the anime. That's a character in the anime right there. I have a gun, but he's about to pull out some anime ninja bullshit. I'm gonna shoot at him, but next thing I know, I'm in the fucked up. I'm in a day. Somehow he's gonna block the bullet with his sword. Some stupid shit. Better think twice. You never know what the fuck's about to happen. And all of a sudden, you come in there causing chaos. And there goes the sword. What the fuck?
The Old Guard. If you guys haven't watched it on Netflix, it gives a really well rendition of what the immortality Alex is talking about here is.
Yep.
These motherfuckers just go around, fuck shit up. It hurts. It sucks.
It's gonna hurt.
But
yep. You got to keep the pain. If you don't keep the pain, then what is pleasure? What is pleasure worth? If all you feel is pleasure and you don't feel the pain of the death, then boom. Like you got to keep it. It's all built in there for a reason. I'd rather feel the physical pain of being hurt than have that emotional pain that I go through all the damn time from these women.
Matters of the heart are fickle, as they say.
Physical pain and just go around the hill up and be like, at least I'm sexy.
Crying in the mirror. Oh, I look good at least.
I look good. It's definitely a thing. The old guard, that's what this is like. That's what I tell people. Think about breaking down into ash. Like, boom. Break down into ash, and therefore you can't get spawn camped.
I wouldn't do that, Luke. He'd probably turn into like fucking who's that dude from Naruto? The one who can't use ninjutsu? How much? Rock Lee? Yeah, Rock Lee when he drinks the sake.
Yeah.
He said he'd give you a Zanny and try to sword fight you.
Trying to get Zanny and sword fight him. Oh shit! Why are you trying to make my system get all depressed? Put me on a low. First off, let's see. Gift of God need a God gift. I don't know. That might not be a bad thing. It might be. It might fuck you up. Obviously, I don't do a lot of drugs because I noticed there's like Witcher potions, and with my DMT active, I don't know what the fuck will come out. That's why I don't do shit. go back to the Ash conversation. Yeah, no, like in games, like the characters break down into balls of light and stuff like that. The movie The Old Guard, the whole movie happens because these motherfuckers get shot, and then there you go. The people are trying to capture their body. If they just broke down to ash, all their equipment, everything, like just fell apart, and then you get like whirlwinded out, and you get set back up somewhere else like some type of video game, and you respawn outside the danger area. Now they're not expecting you. You can go in and kill them just like how we do in Destiny and everything else like that. Just keep on going. Mission just keeps on going. Ooh, I died. Big deal. All of a sudden, I'm walking back into the door. And what did that do? I'm like a fucked up Deadpool. My body doesn't even stay there. I just break down to ash.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna stop it?
Well, I mean, like in the movie, it would suck ass if you got killed, you're down, and then you respawn, but you're on a medical table.
Yeah.
Then what? Right?
Exactly.
Then what? Like, you're stuck there.
All right, Andy, bro. It's cool. Fucking his phone's at 1%.
That's why he just disappeared.
Yeah. But no, that's exactly it right there. Like that's the whole fucking thing. Like you respawn on a table, and now you're like, oh, you know how many times this happened that like the mortals had the wrong perception of themselves, and so therefore like my body is this and it's gonna grow back together. I don't care if it grows back together. I don't care what happens as long as I come back and you just go ahead and break it down to ash. Creator, make it cool. Make me the coolest person around. Put me on display. Maybe I get shot. And in that instant of my death, it'd be 3,000 years of training, and all of a sudden I'm right back inside this motherfucker knowing how to control everything. I'm gonna fuck these niggas up. Just let whatever happens. I'm gonna be back. But it can't be too long. You can't be away for too long, because if you go to another place for too long, and then you come back here, it won't matter as much. Because you spent so much time over there. So it's gotta be like you kind of have to do it here thing.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks down, you get brought back here. Trust the creator. Put it faith in the loud. He's real. He exists. He clicks in my ear. So
Sleep paralysis is a thing, my man. I used to get that all the time. It's how I actually left my body for the first time, astral projecting. Sleep paralysis. It's when you're
the body
basically
has
when you're falling asleep, and the body tests the mind to see if you're sleeping. So that's why you get itchy and you scratch it. So when the mind goes to sleep, you'll still get itchy, but you're not conscious of it. So the body's like, okay, he's sleeping. Let's go to sleep. That's what I thought. I used to think I was getting abducted. Aliens were abducting me or something like that. But I realized it's just sleep paralysis. And then the mind wakes up. The body's still asleep. It feels like forever, but it's only like 20 seconds. But it feels like way longer. But when you're in that state, you can sense other things, beings, everything.
that weird water like
Grab
sound.
a charger. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to grab a charger.
Kid again. Yeah, you're born as a kid again. Like that happens. When I went back into it, I ended up like turning into a child state. I'm here. I'm 31-year-old being like a kid again, like a brand new baby. Like I ain't no shit. That's why I say when your mind goes, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, you pop back awake to your kid stuff. And like I remember now. I was doing this, and then you have to start doing stuff. Yeah, the spirit things will mess with you during sleep paralysis sometimes. I eat them. They're like, oh, let me in. Okay, I'm gonna give you another simulation. You're gonna get stuck inside of a simulation within me and become my power source by your torture. Don't fuck with me while I sleep. Leave me alone. Speak to me like a common person. If you were asleep and Mr. Demon Dude wants to sleep, fuck around with me while I'm sleep paralysis, and someone come and fuck with you, you wouldn't like it too much either. Let's stop being so hateful towards each other and start working together on all levels, okay? Synchronicity. Everybody together. But yeah, they'll do that. You'll have like weird old things showing up, feeding off your fear. Like they want to feed off the fear. Fear is a fuel source for them. You just let go of it. Fear is there to tell you you're in a dangerous situation, potentially. Doesn't mean you have to give into it. You just fucking you have the fear, ride through it. Ride through the fear and stand up and be the warrior, the hero inside the story. Be like, fuck you, fuck off. And then it'll be like, okay, boom. There we go. Right there. And then like me now, I'm like, fear? I am fear. Face unfolding, tentacles and all this other shit coming out. I'm like, I don't care. I want to make it as ridiculous. Something's trying to make me scared inside that world where I can do any fucking thing. I am literally about to freak them the fuck out so bad that they go running and crying to whatever God they believe in, being like, I don't, why you send me after that? That thing was, it had tentacles and it put its suckles all over my face. And I was like, I'm going to eat you. So if you do some weird shit back to the things that are trying to make you fear, and then you feed off their fear, next thing you know, the fear things are like, okay, I'll be nice to you. It's often how it goes. So, but yeah, all right, Mike got out of here, and it looks like this is going on. Well, I've been on here for a couple of hours, it seems. All right, guys, thank y'all for tuning in and joining Cousin Space Dad. I will catch you all later. I'm about to go ahead and go and enjoy the world or something like that. That's why I believe higher vibrations keep you positive state of being. Well, I won't say that being higher vibrations will keep you in a positive state of being, but because when you get angry, if you put water onto a stove and boil it, it makes it start to bubble, and once it starts to bubble, that's a higher vibration, right? So if you think about the water experiments, Dr. Masaru Emoto, when it's like I hate you and stuff like that, the water that was frozen started to bubble, and so which is a higher vibration. Because when you think about it like that, it has its own purposes. So let me go ahead and if I could move just the process, I break the demons all. Peace on me. How often do I go live? Not that often. I show up every now and then. Like show up and say hi to everyone, and let y'all know that I'm a real person. I'm a dude. I do things. I might try to start doing more lives, just going live and like doing more breath practices and talking about other things. It's easier. Good night. Good night. We'll see. Good wisdom for you. Yeah, I've read that experiment. Go live again soon, brother. I'll try to go live again soon. Hey, thank y'all. Much love to you all as well. Later, man.